All right, I should be live. I should be live. We got a good show today. Let me drink some of this ice cold water. Let me make sure I get my playback in here. Let me see if I get my playback in here working. Seeing the people can see me or not. What's going on with my playback? What's going on? What's going on with the playback? Okay, there we go. There we go. Welcome to the Grandmaster Troll show. Y'all know who it is. It is your boy, the Grandmaster Troll, that give you guys some of the best trolling content YouTube has to offer. Shout out to the Reject Army, the Nif Nons, the Dishwasher, the Bedwetters, the Gorilla Sips, the Gorilla Pimps, the single women out there. I gotta send a special shout out to the Donald Trump assassinators out there. I gotta send a special shout out to the TDA gang, Trend the Day, however you pronounce that gang name. I gotta send a special shout out to them. But more importantly, I gotta send a special shout out to all the black and brown bodies that have died on the Democratic plantation. So you guys see the title of the stream. It is titled The Hurtful Truth of RBR, dying on the Democratic plantation. And I got some breaking news. I got breaking news. Your boy GMT is coming out of retirement. I got some new show concepts coming up. We are going to follow the destruction of this country every single day from here on out. So Tuesdays will be tear 'em out the frame Tuesdays. Then we're gonna have whack 'em Wednesdays, and then we're gonna have tear 'em out of the frame Thursdays, and then we're gonna have Friday. Friday is gonna be what? Friday's gonna be fucking them up Fridays, and then we're gonna have slut them out Saturdays, and then we're gonna have slaughter Sundays, and then we're gonna have murder Mondays, and every day we are going to show you life on the Democratic plantation. We're gonna show you women getting robbed, raped, beaten, killed. We're gonna show you men getting robbed, beaten, doing some of the most heinous crimes, and I'm gonna show you how your Democratic leadership is at the forefront of you getting torn out the frame. And we're gonna do it every day because the last couple of months, I just came home from work. And one of the first things I do when I come home from work, I log into my YouTube channel. I hit the home button. Then on the top, I have a tab that says news. I hit news, and I see videos of fellow Americans getting torn out the frame, 4K, broad daylight. And it brings me great joy to see the mayhem that is going around this country, especially because it's always in a Democratic stronghold where dudes are getting torn out their frame in the worst way. So with that said, we gonna start off with the main topic first, and then we're gonna go into some sub topics. So we gotta talk about your boy. we gotta talk about your boy RBR. And the reason why, that's some good water right there. The reason why we gotta talk about your boy RBR is because he's been telling y'all how the Democratic Party's been so good and why Negroes need to support the Democrats and this, that, and the third. And 3 weeks ago, unfortunately, we had the passing of our brother, Real Brother Radio, RBR. Now, the passing of RBR wasn't a surprise to many of his followers because many of his followers knew he was sick, he was dealing with illnesses, he was in and out of the hospital. From what I heard from his followers out there, I even heard he was having trouble paying money for his medical situation. And I find it very interesting and odd that RBR, who was riding for Obama, and we know Obama produced Obamacare, and then there was Medicaid and Medi-Cal and all this kind of thing that's supposed to be helping. And then Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they will get in front of TV and they will swear God up and down that they're doing everything in their power. If there's one thing they did right, is that they brought down the cost of medicine so you people of elderly ages will be able to pay for your medical expenses. But when you own the Democratic Plantation, oh, they like to hide what's going on. See, from what I heard from the RBR channel, because it got turned over to somebody else, and that person was talking about, he was in the hospital, he wasn't doing too good, and they sent RBR back home. And when they sent RBR back home, it was one fateful night. I guess RBR was in the bed sleep. We don't know. Only thing we know is RBR was in this room, and then RBR took his last breath. He passed away. When they went to check on him in his room, RBR was no longer here. He perished. Now, I don't know about you, but when you were dealing with whatever RBR was dealing with, and you're in the hospital and you're approaching end of life, instead of sending you back home, they supposed to put your ass in hospice care. RBR wasn't in hospice care. RBR wasn't under the supervision of doctors and nurses who could work around the clock to make sure RBR would still be here. They sent RBR back home. And back home is where RBR died. And people aren't going to talk about having a plan for your end of life, where you're going to go, who's going to take care of you, who's going to be watching out for you. Nobody wants to have that conversation. People would rather get on YouTube and talk about the good old days. The only problem is the old days. They want to talk about their favorite RBR moment, their favorite RBR video, their favorite RBR this. RBR is looking down on us from heaven. But they don't want to have that conversation about how Obamacare Medicaid, Medicare, and how that Democratic government failed RBR in his last days. It broke my heart. It broke my heart to hear his followers get on YouTube with tears coming down their face, talking about, well, at least RBR won't have to worry about coming up with money to take care of his medical expenses. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. I said, "What you mean? You mean RBR situation wasn't being handled? You mean Obama wasn't looking out for him? You mean there was no Democratic policy that was looking out for RBR? RBR had to worry about medical expenses in his last days." He couldn't get the round the clock treatment. Somebody had to walk in on him in the wee hours of the night to find his lifeless body in bed. Is this how the brothers want? Is this how the brothers want to go out? I mean, do you black men out there, do you have a plan for your last days where you become terminally ill, you get cancer? Do you guys have a plan for when you die? Or are y'all just playing it by ear? You're hoping family's going to be there to take care of you. You hoping your wife is going to be there. You hoping your kids is going to be. Do y'all have a plan for your last days? Do you have hospice care? Do you have a hospice care package? Do you have life insurance? Do you have a will? Do you have things set in place for when you die? Because far too many times, especially in this space, I see a lot of brothers, they going out, they don't have a will, their families is doing GoFundMe's. They got a monetized YouTube channel, but once they die, their channel dies, or in this case of RBR, your channel gets stolen by another Negro. Your channel gets hijacked by another Negro. Instead of him reposting your old work, he just take over your channel, rebrand and rename the channel. I was very disappointed in what I was hearing and what I saw, and I just couldn't believe that there wasn't a plan for our brother RBR in his last days. We got Van Garcia. He says, RBR stayed waiting for those billions of dollars from Google. We got to talk about that, because there's a lot of Negroes. There's a lot of Negroes on YouTube. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and call their names out. You got the Yvette Carnels, you got the Tone Talks, you know. They're on this crusade of getting black folk reparations. And I can already see the day is going to come where the Most High calls them back home, and We're going to have to do live streams about how Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks dedicated their lives for getting people of the melanin reparations. And when God calls them home, people of the melanin will not have received those reparations, but their biggest fans are gonna come on YouTube. They're gonna have tears coming down their eyes. They're gonna talk about how big of an impact Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks had on their lives and the reparations movement and the ADOS movement and how successful the ADOS movement was, even though those reparations never came. And now we had RBR. He spent the last 3-4 years talking about how Google owed him billions of dollars, and he passed away, and his YouTube channel wasn't even monetized. So we got another Negro who's gonna steal his YouTube channel, and but best believe he gonna try and monetize that RBR channel to his best ability. Will it work? I don't know. It might work. It might not work. But this is what's going on. So with that said, what we're gonna do? What we're gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna stop the cam because we gotta send our boy RBR off. We gotta send our boy RBR off with a good song. So with that said, you guys should already know. You should already know what we're gonna do. Let me see. Yeah, we want that too. Yeah, we want that. Oh, what do we got? We got to send our boy off. So with that said, oh yeah, we got to one bad morning. Not yet. Hold on, where the fuck my headphones go? Oh, I left my headphones in the car. Oh, here they go. They're right here. My headphones is right. Yep. My headphones is right here. We gotta send our boy Arby off with the I'll Fly Away song. Give me 1 second. So we can send our boy off. Bad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to a land where joy shall never end. Oh, I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away. Oh, glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by. Fly away. With that said, RBR, it was great having you around. You made an impact on the lot of us. Some of us enjoyed your content. They rock with you. With that said, rest in peace, RBR. But RBR, you got some explaining to do, RBR. You got some explaining to do because you died on that Democratic plantation. You died on that Democratic plantation, RBR, and you were on BET. And the reason why we got to play this BET because we got to hold you accountable, RBR. We got to hold you accountable. So, with that said,
Writer producer Theron Cal says he's on a mission to help black folks. He says black folks are filled with self-hate. Melody Cochran is the daughter of the famed attorney Johnny L. Cochran. Her lifestyle includes relationships and activities that, according to Theron, makes her a sellout. Please welcome Theron Cal and Melody Cochran. Now that is like a very aggressive statement to start off with you. Do you know this woman to call her a sellout?
No, I've never met her.
What is a sellout? So why is
my definition of a sellout is somebody who's black, who's harming or hurting other blacks, and someone who's black who dates and or marries non-black.
So what category does Melody fill under?
Stop the show right there. What did you say, RBR? What is a sellout? Tell me, RBR, what is a sellout?
Somebody who's black, who's harming or hurting other blacks, and someone who's black who dates and or marries non-black.
So what?
I'm so glad you said that, RBR, because now we can break down what you said and we can start holding people accountable because RBR is no longer here because he wasn't getting the medical treatment he needed to get because Obamacare didn't work for him. And so since RBR died, well, we could say a black person was hurt, RBR. But most importantly, RBR, we want you to explain your part-time soul sister right here, RBR. We got Kamala Harris, a black woman, appears to be married to a white man. Somebody, RBR, you've been riding hard for Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris made sure that us working class folk don't have enough money to pay for our medical care in our dying days, and she's married out to a white man, RBR. So that would make Kamala Harris a sellout, RBR. But go ahead, RBR, explain it to us more.
Category does Melody fall under for you to call her sellout?
Well, I don't know, but if she's dating outside of her race, then she would fall into category number 2.
Okay, but I guess the question I'm asking is, apparently from the information we got, you feel the lifestyle that she is participating in makes her a sellout.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to get to the point of what about her lifestyle have you categorized as selling out?
Usually when somebody sells out in terms of dating, interracial dating, usually what's going on is there's 3 things that go on. 1, they don't like being black. 2, they're not too comfortable with themselves.
Now, is this your own opinion, or how did you get?
3, they basically would prefer white culture.
Okay. But RBR during the presidential debate and during Kamala Harris' interview with CNN, she was asked if she was black, and she didn't get up and say that she was black. She completely ignored the question and changed the subject. It's because RBR, she's not comfortable with her skin. She suffers from self-hate. Is that why your girl Kamala Harris can't say that she's black on national TV, RBR?
Okay. So what do you base this on? Is this your own personal?
This is the research. You know, in doing the Sellout Diaries, we did a lot of research. We talked to a lot of people. I've been on this planet for 30 some odd years. And I mean, it's common sense. I mean, people avoid what they don't like. They gravitate towards what they like. You're right. So we don't go out and you know, eat things we don't like. We don't hang around people we don't like. And when you choose to exclusively date outside of your race, I mean, you don't have to do an extensive study to figure out what's going on. She's avoiding black men because she doesn't like them. I mean, we can be honest.
Now, Theron, what if you like a little variety?
That's okay. You can sell out and then come back home, and that's
Okay,
all. We don't have a problem with that.
Oh, you see that RBR? Because I know I know what the argument's gonna be. People gonna say GMT. Kamala Harris, no, she was dating Montel Jordan. She was dating Mayor Billy Brown. I'm sure she's dated other black men. But what did RBR just say right here? Let me back it up. What did you say, RBR?
Black men, because she doesn't like them. I mean, we can be honest.
Now, Theron, what if you like a little variety?
That's okay. You can sell out and then come back home, and that's all. We don't have a problem with that.
So it's okay to sell out and come back home, but she with a white man right now. So right now, according to you, RBR, your girl Kamala Harris is selling black folk out.
So is this only for black culture or for all? As being a Latina, am I supposed to only date Latino men?
No, I don't really address the Latino issue because I think there's enough going on not to be insensitive. But for the definition as we as black folks think of selling out, I'm talking about black people.
Okay, well, Melody, I only think it's fair to let you address his accusations. Now, are you dating out of your race?
Yes, I am. I date out of my race, but I go by.
Oh, Melody, how you say you selling out black folk?
Whether I like the person or not, if we have a similar background, things like that, if we have things in common. I like to do some things that I guess Theron would say that black people don't do.
That's a stereotype. That's not true. But go ahead.
But like I snow ski, I love water.
Black people can't snow. Black people don't like water.
No, I hope they do. But it's the same thing with dating outside of my race.
Okay, would you tell the truth? You don't like black people. You don't like black men. Just tell the truth. It's okay. Nothing wrong with it. But wouldn't you date black men if you like them?
I do date black men.
Okay.
But I also date white men.
Wrong.
And I've dated some other Hispanic men as well.
Well, that's selling out too. But I'm just trying to get you to explain. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying don't do it. Okay. If I like to play golf.
So are you a sellout?
No, because golf is not selling out. It's not hurting black people, and it's not dating someone who's not.
But it's a white
dating somebody of another color.
Well, it's a self-expression. It's like bleeding. Why you bleed? Because you're cut. Okay. Why do you date outside of your race? Because you don't like your race. Because you don't like black men or white.
I'm not exposed to talking.
So that's basically your boy right there. That's basically your boy right there, Kamala or RBR. In his own words, if you're a black woman and you date and marry outside your race, you're a sellout. But let's focus in on your girl Kamala Harris. We gotta focus in on your girl Kamala Harris because I think I have changed my position. I want Trump to win. I will be voting for Donald Trump. For the small part is clamoring that Kamala Harris will be able to pull it off because of Kamala Harris. If she can secure the presidency, murder Mondays, tear them out the frame Tuesdays and Thursdays, whack them Wednesdays, and slaughter Sundays are going to be lit. So your girl Kamala Harris, she went to the national. Where'd she go? She went to the national black journalist and did an interview. Now we all know why this is important. We all know why this is important because Donald Trump went there and Donald Trump received all kind of disrespect and all kind of pushback, and the only thing he's trying to do is help black folks out. But here we go. We got a part-time soul sister in Kamala Harris at the National Black Journalist Convention about to do this interview. let's get right to it. We gotta go ahead and stop the show. We gotta stop the show. We gotta stop it right there, because when they brought Donald Trump out, there wasn't a black man in sight. It was all women. Black men had no pull. They had no power to ask any questions for the betterment of themselves when it came to Donald Trump. But when the so-called part-time soul sister is there, we got not only one black man, we got two black men. We got one black man in a nice suit, then we got this black man right there. He got on a red suit with the non-matching red turtleneck with the afro sheen being blown out on his head. I mean, this is it right here. Finally, black men are being represented in the Democratic plantation. Let's go.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Madam Vice President, thank you so much for doing this and making the time.
Of course.
Just a little bit busy right now. We want to start on an issue that Americans across the country say is their number one concern, and that's the economy. A question that has been asked of you and everybody that's on the Democratic side is whether or not voters are better off now than they were 4 years ago. Are they better off now than they were 4 years ago?
So when we came into, well, first of all, let me just say, it is good to be with the National Association of Black Journalists, and I thank you for the work you do and that your members do every day. It is very important that we ensure that this organization and your members always have the resources and the platforms to deliver the voices that must be heard. So I think
Stop the show. You see, I am changing Kamala's name. I am changing Kamala Harris to Kamala Word Salad. I don't know if I'm black. Can't answer a question directly. Harris. That is Kamala Harris' new name. Kamala Word Salad. I don't know if I'm black. Can't answer a direct question. Because this is what she always does. Whenever you ask Kamala Harris a direct question, Kamala, what is today's date? Well, you know, I woke up today, I checked my phone, and when I checked my phone, I had a text message from my mother. And my mother, who's a very hardworking woman, she inspired me to do a lot. And she said, and then she'll give you this long soliloquy, and before you know it, she ain't even answered your question yet. We asking questions. Are voters better off today under your Biden-Harris administration, or are they better off under the Trump administration 4 to 8 years ago? And this is what we get.
thank you for hosting me today. 4 years ago, when we came in during the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. We came in during the worst public health epidemic in centuries. We came in after the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. And a lot of it due in large part to the mismanagement by the former president. As it relates to COVID. And obviously,
you see how these Negroes be lying. You see how these Negroes be lying. They orchestrated a made-up disease called COVID. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all the truth because a lot of people is lying to y'all. So what the Grandmaster Trolls gotta do is I gotta put my channel in jeopardy, and I gotta tell the people of the melanin, I gotta tell you Negroes, I gotta tell y'all the truth. They went to China and created a disease in a lab. And this disease was so contagious and so deadly that if you got this disease, you would grow a third head and fall out. Then they said with this disease, you could be asymptomatic, meaning show no symptoms, be perfectly healthy. And if you're within the vicinity of somebody else, this person could get what you got, even though you're asymptomatic. They could get this so-called disease and they could fall out and die, and they need ventilators and all this other rigmarole. But if you go back and you look at the numbers, and all the people who say they died from this so-called disease, COVID, you would see that deaths from heart attacks, cancer, car accidents, murders, whatever other disease, heart disease, deaths from all other causes are down, and all these other so-called COVID deaths are up. And then they want to talk about so-called unemployment. For unemployment was the worst since the Great Depression. Well, before this so-called made-up disease made it over here, Black unemployment was at its lowest. And the only reason why people became unemployed is because people in these so-called democratic cities, in these democratic states, they were told not to go to work because the Democratic Plantation government told them not to go to work. They told them, shut it down unless it's an essential business. And then they're going to tell you Donald Trump mishandled it. Well, when he shut down people in China who weren't American citizens, when he put a travel ban in effect, those same Democrats called Donald Trump a racist for not letting people of other countries who were exposed to this so-called made-up disease that was concocted in a Wuhan laboratory. When he said, if you're not American, you can't travel here, they called him a racist. And then they will tell you, that he didn't handle the situation. But when you look at their numbers show you that less people die from this so-called disease in Trump's administration than they did in the Biden-Harris administration. But if you say what I just said, they will fact check you. They will say you don't know what you're talking about. They will say this, that, and the third. They had people taking the, and they told you, Joe Biden told you, it came out of his mouth, if you get the jab, you won't get COVID. He got on TV, looked the American people in the eye. If you take the needle in your arm, you won't get COVID. In fact, he got on TV to try to convince you guys that this so-called jab was safe. He lifted up his arm, got the jab, and since they put that needle in his arm that was supposed to stop you from getting COVID, your man Joe Biden got COVID at least 3 more times. In fact, when he debated Donald Trump and he got his ass whipped so bad, he tried to use COVID as an excuse. But if I say that, if I show you I'm wrong, if I show you what they exposed about Dr. Fauci, I'm the crazy one. So now, if you don't do your own research, because I do my own research, I saw what was happening. They was telling people to wear masks. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this, so I could show you. How idiotic people are in the Democratic plantation. Let me see if I could show you. Let me see if I could show you this right here. Let me see if I could show you this idiocy in the Democratic plantation. Let me see if I know I got a video of this up. I know I got a video of it up somewhere. This has to be it right here. This has to be it right here. Let me see if I could show you this idiot. Let me see if I could get a good look. Let me see if I could get a good look. Let me see. Do we get a good look? I just need one good look. Let me see. Oh, I can't get a look. Hold on. Let me see if I could back it up real quick. No, I'm not gonna get a good look here. Let me see if I get a better look here. I think I'll get a better. I think I will definitely get a better look here. I just gotta wait for this ad, but I got to show y'all the idiocy of people in the Democratic plantation. Let me see. Do I get a good look? I know I'm gonna get a good look. So you guys know I referee, right? Well, during the pandemic, when stuff was about to open up, this is what these Negroes did. This is what the Democratic plantation did. As kids are playing football, they made the football players put COVID masks over their helmet. Let me say one more time. They made football players. Hold on, let me see. They made football players. Put COVID masks over their helmet. Let me see if I could get a good fast forward so you can actually see the COVID mask on top of the face mask. Let me see if I can get I just need one good look. I just need One good look to show you the 80 the dumb stuff we were dealing with out here. They made football players put COVID masks on top of their helmet. Let me see if I can get a good look. You see the COVID mask? You see the COVID mask? Oh, we coming out of a timeout. Oh, this is a little sideline action right here. You see how the players got COVID masks and the blue and the yellow helmet right here. You see how they got COVID masks on top of their face mask. You see how they got COVID masks because these dummies, these people in charge really believe if you put a COVID mask on top of a football on top, not on the inside, but over the face mask part, you could actually save lives. So now we go back to this so-called lies right here by Kamala Harris.
January 6th. And we had then a lot of work to do to clean up a mess. As of today, we have created over 16 million new jobs.
They said they created over 16 million new jobs, and people in the Democratic plantation, they will clap their hands and say, yeah. What they fair to realize is during the pandemic, they stopped people from going to work, and when they open things back up, people just return to the jobs that they already had, and somehow the Biden-Harris administration is actually saying, we created these jobs. No, you didn't create these jobs. You just simply allowed people to go back to work. You didn't create anything.
800,000 new manufacturing jobs. We have the lowest Black unemployment rate in generations. We have invested in small businesses, and they're to the benefit of many people, but including Black small businesses, some of the highest rate of creation of new Black small businesses in years. We have done the work of capping the cost of prescription medication for our seniors for issues like insulin. And again, I'm speaking to the Black journalists who care about all people.
You did what, Kamala Harris? You did what, Kamala Harris?
We have done the work of capping the cost of prescription medication for our seniors for issues like...
Wasn't our good brother RBR elderly, possibly senior citizen, and he was having trouble paying for his medical expenses, Kamala Harris?
Insulin, and again, I'm speaking to the Black journalists who care about all people, but in particular, I'll talk about the impact on Black people, where we know Black folks are 60% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes. And we have now finally capped the cost of insulin for our seniors at $35 a month. Cap the cost.
If only RBR had diabetes and not cancer, maybe your policies would have helped our boy RBR out. See, this is the problem, Kamala Harris. They don't talk about people like RBR. They don't talk about the struggles and how somehow RBR slipped through the cracks and was having trouble paying for his medical expenses and the burden that had on him, and how him not being able to pay, he had to spend his last days not at the hospital under the care of doctors, not in a hospice center or an elderly home where trained professionals are there round the clock. They sent his muppet ass back home and a family member who had to check on him found him dead in his bedroom. See, this is the thing that these politicians not going to talk about. They're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to sit up here and they're going to lie and they're going to hurt black people. Because just like RBR said, if you marry and date outside of your race, you're a sellout. And if you hurt black people, you're a sellout. And here is his girl, Kamala Harris, selling out RBR because she don't even know. She is completely oblivious to the struggles that RBR was going through.
The prescription medication for our seniors at $2,000 a year because we, unlike the former president who promised to do it, we finally have allowed Medicare to negotiate drug prices against the big pharmaceutical companies. And these are just some of the accomplishments. Is the price of groceries still too high? Yes. Do we have more work to do? Yes. And I will tell you, I do believe that I offer a new generation of leadership for our country that is about, in particular, turning the page on an era that sadly has shown us attempts by some to
we got to go ahead and stop the show because we've got the highlight. We got a highlight. We have to highlight a comment. Let me see. We got non-swerves on the city. RBR seems to have relied heavily on donations, and then we got. And then we got, hold on, let me see. And then we got the good old PPP loans. Who gave PPP loans? Trump, not them. You see. this is what people don't understand. If the Democrats are shutting down cities that they have mayors in, that they have governors of, they shut down the cities and prevent your ass from going to work and providing for your family. So you could put food on the table. So you can pay for your medical stuff when Obamacare is not filling in the gap. Medicaid and Medicare is not filling in the gap. Was Donald Trump supposed to sit in the White House and let you starve? Or is he supposed to send you money so not only you could put food on the table, you can actually have capital to start a business? So you won't be being held captive by the Democratic plantation owners in the city or state that you live in. Could you imagine? Could you imagine when they did them government shutdowns and that unemployment money didn't come, them PPP loans didn't come, them SBA loans didn't come? Can you imagine how in the bad position people would have been in? How would you be able to survive when the government, the Democratic government, told you you can't go to work because this disease is out here. You gotta social distance, and we gotta get things under control. You know, we don't want the hospitals to be overrun. I mean, we were all there. They were telling us hospitals were being overrun. These hospitals were in a crisis. What did the people do? The people on the ground, they took their cell phones, went to the hospitals that they said were being overrun with COVID patients, only to find out that those hospitals weren't being overrun with COVID patients. And when they took their cell phone and recorded them empty hospitals and showed you nurses doing TikTok dances, the Democratic Plantation told Facebook, YouTube, or whatever platforms people was using to take those videos down for misinformation. In other words, they censored people who were disproving the reports on mainstream media of hospitals being overrun, because those same people took their cell phones and went live from the same hospitals that the news was being overrun. You see, what the Democrats did is they played mind games on y'all Negroes. They played mind games on y'all Negroes. They told you that this disease, you know, it gives you the sniffles, you know, you start coughing, you know, your nose is running. You're basically going to have the symptoms of a cold, and if you get bad, you're going to need a respirator. And a lot of you Negroes who just had the common cold, you believe you had COVID. So when you start, when your nose start running a little bit, you got scared. And then some people started to pass away. But what y'all Negroes don't understand is ninjas die every day, B. They die from cancer, lung cancer, heart disease, this disease, that disease. And when people start dying because they wasn't taking care of their health, they were fat, out of shape, obese, had heart disease, them doctors told you that your loved ones had COVID. And the reason them doctors told y'all that your loved ones had COVID is because with every patient who had COVID, them hospitals received money for it. So a lot of your loved ones died of a heart attack, heart disease. We just saw your boy Kevin Samuels go out. There were people getting shot with guns. They would go to the hospital. They would succumb to their injuries from the gunshot. but the doctor said they had COVID and it became a COVID death. And people were on the ground. People were on the ground reporting what was happening with their cell phones. And when they posted the video, Google and Facebook took it down for misinformation. And the truth was kept away from so many people. Then all of a sudden, one day, all of a sudden, COVID, the most deadly disease, you had to get a vaccine. Not everybody took the vaccine. I didn't take the vaccine. And then one day, all of a sudden, COVID went away. The pandemic's over. Nobody's worried about COVID no more. It just vanished. It just went away. If you ask me, the country did not need to be shut down. The country was shut down to get somebody out of office because they didn't have a way to beat them, because the economy before COVID was so strong that there was no way Trump was going to lose a re-election. So they instituted COVID, and the reason they did that is because they had mail-in ballots go to wrong places. The reason I know this is true because I took my camera, because there were reports before the election that mail-in ballots was going to the wrong place, and people who should have been voting wasn't necessarily voting. So I took my camera, put it on my chest, went to go vote, and recorded my voting process from the point to I walked out of my car into the school to go vote, showing them my ID, getting a provisional ballot, because when I showed them my ID, they said I already voted via a mail-in ballot from Albany, California, a city I don't even live in. Hold on, let me see if I could get my other camera to pop up. There we go. I guess my other camera died. I guess I don't need this to be so bright no more. I literally walked in, gave them my ID to go vote. They said I had already voted. They gave me a provisional ballot. I filled it out. I don't know if they counted the mail-in ballot or the provisional ballot. I have no idea. I posted that video to YouTube. Couple of months later, YouTube eventually took that video down. There were other people on the ground who went to go vote, and they were telling their stories about how the voting process was being tampered with. Those videos were taken down. We got Light Bringer Darkness Dreamer says, why weren't black people not smart enough to politically leverage their vote towards multiple parties, instead become the backbone of the Democrats? Well, it's very simple. Lyndon B. Johnson said he would have y'all Negroes voting Democrat for the next 300 years. And how they did that? They tug on your heartstrings. They tell you about races. They tell you about the boogeyman. And then they'll give you welfare food stamps. And now you're reliant on the government to stay afloat. And just like we saw with the PPP loans and the SBA loans and the unemployment, a lot of y'all Negroes tried to jug the system and you tried to finesse the system. You was using dead people's social security numbers. You was using dead relatives' identities and trying to double dip in the SBA and PPP loans and unemployment. And a lot of you Negroes got caught up because you didn't want to take the money. You didn't want to start your own business and invest the money and do the things to pay back the loan or do the loan forgiveness. And when that PPP money ran out and that Biden-Harris administration came on in, and there was no more PPP money, no unemployment money, no more SBA loan. Then they signed that Inflation Act, and prices began to come up. A lot of Negroes was in trouble, and they're hoping and praying that Kamala Harris is gonna have some answers for them, but she on here telling y'all Negroes lies, and y'all eat it up for some reason.
Incite fear to create division in our country, and to do the work that is about bringing some level of optimism and, dare I say, ambition about what I know is possible in our country. And so my plan for the economy includes what I imagine and believe and call an opportunity economy. What we can do to
Oh man, the good old opportunity economy. Kamala, why don't you implement the opportunity economy now? With you and Joe Biden, you could go down to the White House and Joe Biden could sign a bill for the so-called opportunity economy. Why we gotta wait till you're president? Why can't we be in the opportunity economy now and see the benefits of this so-called opportunity economy?
To grow an opportunity economy where all people have access to the resources to compete, to apply their incredible work ethic, their ambition, their aspirations, and their dreams, and actually not just get by, but get ahead. And I can talk in more detail about it, but specifically, I'll mention a few things.
Yeah.
One of the big issues that affects people right now in terms of the economy and their economic well-being is we have a shortage of housing supply. It's too expensive. People can't afford to buy a home. You know, we grew up, our parents, where they had the ability to somehow believe the American dream was attainable. Not so much for younger working people. And I recognize that. So my approach is a new approach, which is to say, let's just take this and deal with it head on. And part of my approach is to say, I'm going to employ and engage the private sector, in particular home builders with tax credits, to give them the incentive to create new housing, 3 million by the end of my first term, and understanding that not everybody is, handed a silver spoon, but works hard and is trying to save up for.
Why didn't you and Joe Biden go to the private sector and start building these so-called 3 million houses now? Why do we gotta wait till after why we gotta wait another 4 years for something that people has been clamoring long before you came in office, Kamala Harris? We just want to know why. We just want to know why we gotta wait till after your first term.
Down payment, part of my plan under my opportunity economy is to give first-time home buyers a $25,000 down payment assistance so they can just get their foot in the door.
Stop the show. Stop the show. If I'm selling a home for $1 million and I know you're giving $25,000 for a down payment, I'm gonna at least raise my prices $25,000 to cover the cost, because at the end of the day, I'm a capitalist, and if I know people are being given $25,000 to buy a house, I'm gonna raise the prices of the house so I could get some of that money. But that's how you get inflation, when you just give people money for no reason, so they could get their foot in the door. So now you give them $25,000. They're in a house that let's just be honest, they can't really afford, especially with the prices of everything else going up. Insurance, maintenance to the house, electric bills, gas bills, groceries. You may be hurting a lot of people.
To be able to then engage in what will prove to be their opportunity to build intergenerational wealth. And here's my personal experience coming at that. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother was hardworking. She raised me and my sister Maya. She saved up. And it was only by the time I was a teenager that she could afford to actually buy her first home. And I know, and I identify with, I know where I come from.
Madam Vice President.
And I know, but I'm just going to finish. I know that so many people work so hard and should have the opportunity to just get their foot in the door. Again, so it's not just about getting by, but getting ahead. Please.
I'd like to ask you more about the opportunity economy. Housing is a part of it, as well as expanding the earned income tax credit, financial support, as you mentioned, for first-time buyers, and a $50,000 tax deduction for startups and small businesses. But I want to talk to you about the squeeze that millions of Americans are also dealing with that impacts their ability to work and make money, and that is childcare and elder care. And it's a squeeze for millions of people. In some parts of the country, it costs more for childcare than for rents. I think Bloomberg recently reported an average of $33,000 a year.
Stop the show. Stop the show. You mean to tell me it costs more money to watch them crumb snatchers than it is to pay your rent? Is that what y'all trying to tell me? It costs more money. It costs more money to raise them crumb snatchers than it does to pay that rent. Oh, I see why the people of the melanin is down bad. Because you out here, you got 5 kids, 4 different baby daddies, you got 6 kids, 5 different baby mamas. You're trying to go to work, but you can't go to work because you working the night shift and you need somebody to watch them crime snatches and it costs too much money. So now some of y'all people of the melanin, what you trying to do? What you trying to do is you trying to work during the day when your kids have school, and then during the night you trying to go DoorDash, and you think you're gonna be able to take them kids door dashing with you. Oh, I've seen the stories. Are you trying to use that DoorDash money to take care of that daycare money for days, I guess, when they don't have school, when it's summer vacation? I see what y'all Negroes trying to do. You guys are out here hurting behind them kids because you had kids that you can't afford.
So I'm just wondering, you mentioned that in your opportunity economy, a child tax credit, but that's just one part of an ecosystem.
Right.
Please tell us, what plans will you propose to guarantee that families can actually afford childcare and elder care?
So to your point, it is sadly the state of affairs in our country that working people often have to decide to either be able to work or be able to afford childcare. Like they can't afford childcare and actually do the work that they want to do because it's too expensive and it doesn't actually level out in terms of the expense versus the income. My plan is that no working family should pay more than 7% of their income in childcare. Because I know that when you talk about the return on that investment, allowing people to work, allowing people to pursue their dreams in terms of how they want to work, where they want to work, benefits us all. It strengthens the entire economy. We saw, for example, during the pandemic, what happened. And it sadly has dissipated as a conversation that we need to resuscitate, which is the number of women that had to leave the workforce because of a lack of childcare and home health care. And so many of our families, and particular women, end up carrying the responsibility. Men do too, of course. What we call people who are in the sandwich generation.
Exactly.
Who have young children and are also taking care of their parents. And it is just absolutely too expensive for them to be able to work and do that.
Stop the show. Kamala. You said something very tough. You said this was tough on the women because the women during the pandemic had to stop going to work and watch the kids. First question we always ask is, where the daddy at? But forget all of that. Let's just assume all these so-called single mothers had to stop going to work because they couldn't. They had to stay home and watch their kids because their kids was no longer going to school because the Democratic Plantation said it was unsafe to go to school because you're going to get COVID. If you get COVID, you're going to die. And these kids are going to be around each other. They're going to be having COVID. And even though they're asymptomatic, they're going to survive. They're going to go home to grandmother and grandfather and sister elderly. That they're going to be subjugated to COVID. If they get COVID, they're going to get pulled a respirator. If you get pulled a respirator, you got a 85% chance of dying, and we don't want that. So we got to shut down the school because, oh my God, people are dying. If single fathers were able to manage that situation, why couldn't the single mothers manage that as well? But go ahead, Kamala. Tell us more. So my plan is not only about 7% of income for working people for childcare, but also. How can you guarantee that somebody doesn't pay more than 7% of their income? Where's my trusty calculator at? if somebody's making $50,000 a year, and we times that by 0.7%, that means they could pay no more than $3,500. Let's say somebody's making $40,000 a year. We times that by 0.7, that's $2,800. When they bring their kid to the same daycare spot, you're telling me they're going to be charged differently based on their income? If that's true, wouldn't people who make more money, wouldn't they lie about their income or try to finagle their way about their income and say that they're making less money? I mean, I, I just want to know the details of this policy. You can't just tell me a policy. After you tell me a policy, you gotta show me a framework of this policy so I can see it actually work.
Also, we need to do better for our child care providers and our home health care providers in terms of ensuring that they receive the wages that they deserve based on the dignity of their work. I have spent
but how? If you're putting if child care providers, if you want to pay them for the work of providing care for children, but their clientele is only going to pay 7% of their income, how does that work? I mean, if one person is making, like I said, 50,000, so they're paying 3,500 for a child, and somebody's paying 2,800 for a child, then they're only going to want to target people who make higher money, meaning people who make less money. People are not going to want to watch their children because their parents aren't making enough. I mean, it just seems far fetched. It just seems a little far fetched to me, Kamala Harris, on this little policy you got going on right here.
time with home health care providers, and their work is some of the most taxing work you can imagine. And I actually, when my mother was sick with cancer, did a lot in terms of taking care of her. And the work that is about taking care of a loved one, in particular an elder, is extraordinarily heavy in terms of the emotional toll, the time it takes. And we do it because that is what we do. But not everyone has the ability to take time from work to do it. And they need help. And we need to make sure we have home health care workers that can help them. But I want to also get back to the earlier point that you made about extending the child tax credit. So part of my new approach is we need to expand the child tax credit. And so part of my plan that is under an opportunity economy is to extend and expand the child tax credit to $6,000 so that young families in particular, for the first year of their child's life, which is an extraordinarily important time in their development, have the resources to be able to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy children's clothing, and not have to worry about whether they're going to be able to meet their other needs. And I don't need to remind anybody here, especially these esteemed journalists, but when we expanded the child tax credit a couple years ago.
If you're having children and you can't afford a car seat, crib, baby clothes, and baby food, you probably shouldn't be having children.
We reduced Black child poverty by half. And so again, if you talk about the benefit and if you think about the benefit to the economy overall.
If it's a tax credit, can somebody in the chat, tell me about how, can somebody tell me how these tax credits were from what I understand, You have to go through the whole year. Then when it's time to fill out your taxes, you submit your taxes, and then you get whatever money back from your taxes. So I'm assuming that's when you get this tax credit. But you gotta survive the whole year. You gotta survive the whole year of not being able to afford to take care of a child that you shouldn't have, to then get that tax credit. And the way Negroes is with their budgeting and expenses, they may not survive till tax season. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there.
It strengthens our economy to do things like pay attention to affordable child care, affordable home health care, and extending the child tax credit.
Madam Vice President, Black men, as you know, are a closely watched voting bloc. You've hosted Black men at your residence.
Yep.
You have engaged Black men and centered them in your economic opportunity tour. But polling shows that some Black men, particularly young Black men, are considering voting for Donald Trump. And they see him as
Now we got Black men asking about Black men. Let's go.
better for the economy. What is your message to young Black male voters who feel left out of this economy, and how can your economic policies materially change their lives?
Stop the show. Stop the show. You see, we didn't spend all this time talking about child care and what's the struggles of a single mother, and how child care and these tax credits are going to help these single mothers. And we got all these Black men. If we listen to the mantra, there's a lot of Black men that have no kids. I have no kids. I live in California. They're talking about $25,000 as a down payment. Houses out here in California cost $1 million, and the $25,000. It seems like it's not gonna work. But what are you gonna do for the brothers, Kamala Harris?
So I appreciate the spirit of the question, but I'll tell you, I've often been asked this question in a way that I've had to.
So somebody asked you about Black men before? I have yet to see you answer this question, Kamala Harris. Go ahead and make my day.
Respond by first saying that I think it's very important to not operate from the assumption that Black men are in anybody's pocket. Black men are like any other voting group. You got to earn their vote. So I'm working to earn the vote. Not as
you're working to earn Black men's vote. Okay, how are you working to earn? How are you working to earn the vote of the Black man?
Going to have it because I am Black, but because the policies and the perspectives I have understands what we must do to recognize the needs of all communities. And I intend to be a president for all people. Specifically as it relates to what we need to do, to your point around economic opportunity. Yes, I started way before I was at the top of the ticket and what I called an economic opportunity tour, focused on Black men. Understanding that, for example, we have so many entrepreneurs in the community who do not have access to capital, but they've got great ideas, an incredible work ethic, the ambition, the aspiration, the dream, but don't have the relationships necessarily. So my work has included, as vice president, getting billions more dollars into community banks, including working with the big banks to do that, so that we can increase access to capital for our small businesses, for our startups. Part of my plan under my economic opportunity plan going forward is that right now, startup entrepreneurs, small businesses only get a tax deduction of $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000. So I'm expanding that to $50,000. Understanding, again, that when people have the opportunity to have the resources to get started, they're going to put the good ideas, they're going to put the hard work into it.
we gotta back up that word salad. This is Kamala word salad. I don't know if I'm black and can't answer a direct question here. She gave me a whole lot of word salad. Let's go ahead and back up. Let's break down. Let's go ahead and take the tomatoes out, take the onions out, take the salad dressing out, because we gotta break down this word salad right here.
Banks, including working with the big banks, don't have the relationships necessarily. So
Black men don't have the relationships to build business.
my work has included, as vice president, getting billions more dollars into community banks, including working with the big banks to do that.
So she's going to put billions of dollars into community banks and big banks. I'm assuming that this billions of dollars that's going into these community banks and big banks is going to be loaned out as startup capital for Black men,
so that we can increase access to capital for our small businesses.
She wants to increase capital for small businesses by using the big banks and community banks. Okay, I get you.
Startups. Part of my plan under my economic opportunity plan going forward is that right now, startup entrepreneurs, small businesses only get a tax deduction of $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000.
No one can start a business with $5,000.
So
nobody can start a business with $5,000.
I'm expanding that to $50,000.
What are you spending the $50,000?
Entrepreneurs, small businesses only get a tax deduction of $5,000.
Tax deduction $5,000. Okay. And you're going to spend that tax deduction to $50,000. Couple of holes in that story. Let's go ahead and break that down. We got 9 swirls on said, nah, she didn't. She Black. Kamala must have failed intro to biology genetics. We're gatekeeping now, and she didn't meet the Black criteria. I'll address the Black number. I'm gonna address this small business and Black men. So Black men, they want to start a business, but they don't have access to capital. So since they don't have access to capital, they can't start a business because they don't have relationships with the banks. So Kamala said if she gives $1 billion to banks, these banks will somehow give money to Black men, and I guess that will give them their starting capital. Then they can start their business, and then once they start their business and they see profits, I guess in order to get a tax deduction of $50,000, I mean you would have to make a profit of at least $50,000, because that's where your tax is going to come from. I guess you're going to get a tax deductible off of that. Sounds sweet. How can you ensure that these big banks and community banks is going to loan money to Black men when the community says these so-called community banks and big banks are discriminatory to Black people and don't give them the loans that they want because they say they're not qualified for the loan? That's just a question.
$1,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000. So I'm expanding that to $50,000.
I don't think people could start a business with a $50,000 tax deductible either. They would actually need access to starting capital, and then they would have to make a profit so they could then benefit from that tax deductible.
Understanding, again, that when people have the opportunity to have the resources to get started, they're going to put the good ideas, they're going to put the hard work into it. And part of what I also know is that our young black men, our black men, just like any group of people, anybody, our small businesses are really the backbone of our economy overall. And when they do better economically, we all do better. Part of my work is about understanding what we need to do in dealing with, for example, the historic inequities that have faced the Black community around home ownership, right? I don't have to go through the history with anybody here about what that has meant in terms of redlining, what that has meant in terms of biases in home appraisals, and what the impact it has had on stemming the opportunity to build intergenerational wealth because of those obstacles. So part of the work that I have done and will continue to do is identify, speak truth about those obstacles, and address them. Another example is medical debt. 1 in 4 Black families or individuals is more likely to carry medical debt.
Uh-oh. They talking about your RBR. They talking about your RBR.
Than others. So part of my perspective, and as vice president, part of the work that we have done is to say that we're going to eliminate medical debt from being on your credit score.
So you're going to eliminate medical debt from being on somebody's credit score.
Because until now, medical debt worked against your credit score. And, you know, people know their credit score like, you know, your weight, right? You know that number. And the difference between what that number is and what it needs to be is the difference between you being able to get a car loan, a small business loan, or even a leasing on an apartment.
Ooh, can somebody tell me about RBR small business loan that he was looking to do? Can somebody tell me about the car loan that RBR would have loved to have gotten in his final days when he was fighting for his life, he was sick, and he was in and out of a hospital? Do we think RBR would have wanted a car loan, a small business loan, or would he have just preferred that he got the proper treatment from the hospital and not have to worry about the cost of the proper treatment from said hospital?
And so part of my approach is understanding the obstacles that traditionally and currently exist to allow anyone, including Black men, be able to achieve economic wealth. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think it is sufficient to just only talk about economic policy around reducing unemployment. It is an important marker, and I'm proud of the work that we've done thus far. But it should be a baseline there. Everybody's working. The point is, do people have an opportunity to build wealth? If that's what they choose to do, if that's what they want to do. And a lot of my perspective as we go forward is just that. I believe that there are a lot of opportunities that are available to the American people if we see people and understand what they want for themselves and their families. And
I got a question for you, Kamala Harris, because you talk about small business, you talk about this, that, and the third. But one part of the population that you live out is the everyday worker. You know, the people who go to small business, people who go to big businesses, people who go to medium-sized businesses, and they just work. They don't want to start a business. They just want to punch the clock, work, be able to buy a house. What are the plans for those people? You see, those people make up the middle class. I understand small business owners play a part in the middle class, but the everyday worker is the middle class. And those people just get looked over. I wish somebody would ask Kamala Harris, what is she going to do for the everyday worker? Because there are more workers than there are small business owners. But let's listen to this word salad
and meet them where they are.
Madam Vice President, I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about the war in Gaza. You've called for a ceasefire hostage deal and a
I do not want to hear about the war in Gaza. I do not want to hear about the war in Gaza.
Well, absolutely.
to support Palestinians in their right
we
to
still
self-determination.
talking about
And is it
the
even
war.
possible as Israel's ally?
Is there a specific policy change that you as president?
To get a deal done and get it done as quickly as possible.
But Madam Vice President, just to follow up really quickly, is there a specific policy change that you as President of the United States would say you would do that would help this along? Because you've gotten a lot of credit for emphasizing the humanity of Palestinians. But what I often hear from folks,
we still talking about this bullshit war.
Dropping the 2,000-pound bombs the one time wasn't enough.
We still talking about the war. Let's fast forward a little bit more because there's one other thing.
You eulogize Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee.
Ceasefire deal. We need a ceasefire. We need the hostage deal.
I want to switch gears to racial justice, Madam Vice President. Last month, you eulogized Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Jackson Lee's signature bill, one of a few, was H.R. 40, which would create a commission to study the history of U.S. slavery and study the issue of reparations.
Oh, stop the show. Stop the show. I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea of all the questions you Negroes ask. I don't understand why reparations take so long to come up. I don't understand why y'all Negroes don't start with the reparations questions, stay on the reparations question, and finish the reparation question. You talking about wars in the land that you don't even live in, that they take your tax dollars and fund a war that don't even affect you. You won't even ask a motherfucker about reparations. You won't ask Trump. Trump was in front of the exact same National Association of Black Journalists. Nobody asked that Negro about reparations. They called him racist. They tried to debate and argue him instead of asking that Negro about reparations. We 25 minutes into this so-called interview, and at the 20-second mark, we finally about to ask a question about reparations. What is the plan to give Black people reparations? Because reparations will put money into small business owners' hands. Reparations will put money into the hands of Black American workers. Reparations will allow Black folks to buy one of these expensive ass houses. Reparations will allow Black folks to pay their bills and actually live a lifestyle and build generational wealth, which they have been robbed from since the beginning of this country. I don't understand why these Negroes don't start off with the reparations question. Go ahead and ask the question.
She introduced H.R. 40 every session of Congress, taking up the mantle from Congressman John Conyers. This is a bill that you have co-sponsored as a U.S. Senator. Yet, despite the fact that this has been, similar commissions have been created on the state level and on the local level, is yet to pass in Congress, let alone come out of committee. Congresswoman Jackson Lee, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, and other advocates have called for President Biden to take executive action to create this commission. Would you, as president, take executive action to create this commission, or do you believe that it should happen in Congress?
Well, first of all,
see, You gotta understand the question he asked, because he didn't ask the question a good way. When he asked Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to make an executive decision, what that means is they create an executive bill and they pass it into law immediately, or it could get sent to Congress and they could discuss it and potentially make it a bill. And if they do decide to make it a bill, then they have to vote on said bill. Black folk, we don't want it to go to Congress, because if it goes to Congress, only thing Congress is going to do is kick the can. We need a president who has the courage of his or her conviction to actually make an executive bill to get shit going. But we're talking to Kamala. Word salad. I don't know if I'm black. Can't answer a direct question, Harris. Let's listen to what let's listen to her soliloquy she's about to give to reparations, which should be the number one policy black folks should be asking from politicians in order to get their vote. Let's go.
I just, as you mentioned, Sheila Jackson Lee, she was an extraordinary leader who we just recently lost, and she was a friend and a real champion for so many issues. So I feel compelled to say that about her. On the issue of what we need to do going forward, look, first of all, we just need to speak truth about history, in spite of the fact that some people are trying to erase it.
Kamala, word salad. I don't know if I'm black. Can't answer a direct question. Sheila Jackson fought so hard for reparations, supposed to be her best friend. She died and she couldn't even live to see the fruit of what she's been fighting for so goddamn long. And let's go ahead and listen to this word salad right here.
History. And try and teach our children otherwise. We need to speak truth about, first of all, we just need to speak truth about history, in spite of
we gotta speak truth about history.
The fact that some people are trying to erase history.
Some people are trying to erase history, but you can't erase history, because we all know what happened. You can't erase what happened.
And try and teach our children otherwise. We need to speak truth about the generational impact of our history, in terms of the generational impact of slavery, the generational impact of redlining, of Jim Crow law. I could go on and on and on. These are facts that have had impact. And we need to speak truth about it. And we need to speak truth about it in a way that is about deriving solutions. And frankly, I think that we, and part of that is studying it to figure out exactly what we need to do. But part of what we can do right now is, for example, what I'm talking about in terms of building an opportunity economy, which is addressing explicitly.
Bill, in order to fix the years of black oppression, is to build an opportunity economy? When the opportunity economy is supposed to serve all Americans? What?
The obstacles that historically and currently exist, and dealing with them. Student loan debt, medical debt, bias in home appraisals. What we need to do in terms of dealing with an issue that I have championed for years, Black maternal mortality. which is the fact that Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die in connection with childbirth than other women.
How did we go from reparations to Black folk? Will it be put in front of Congress, or were you making an executive decision? How are we talking about childbirth?
And we know that the reasons for that include disparities that pre-exist her pregnancy, including disparities that exist in the system during her pregnancy. So all of those things must be addressed.
But do you have a position on whether that should happen, this commission should happen through executive order or via Congress?
Now, since she didn't answer the question because her name is Kamala Word Salad, I don't know if I'm Black, can't answer a direct question. Now the brother man has to re-ask the question because you didn't answer his question, Kamala Harris. I mean, people was asking you specific questions. When it comes to reparations, are you going to put it in front of Congress, or if you become president, are you going to make an executive decision?
In the system during her pregnancy. So all of those things must be addressed.
But do you have a position on whether that should happen, this commission should happen through executive order or via Congress?
I think Congress ultimately will have the ability to do this work. I'm not discounting the importance of any executive action, but ultimately Congress. Because if you're going to talk about it in any substantial way, there will be hearings, there will be a level of public education and dialogue that, and I think that was part of the spirit behind the congressional action thus far, to ensure that everyone can participate in this conversation in a way that elevates knowledge about history.
Ain't that something? She don't have the courage of her convictions to make an executive decision. This is what she said.
Importance of any executive.
Congress.
I think Congress ultimately.
I think Congress ultimately
will have the ability to do.
Will have the ability. Congress, since slavery, since Jim Crow, since segregation, since the crack epidemic, since the tech boom, since the social media era, the pandemic, all the way up until now, has had the ability to do something about reparations. The only problem is, Kamala Harris, they have the ability, they are choosing not to. So we need a president who will step in and make an executive decision on the issues of reparations.
This work. I'm not discounting the importance of any executive action, but ultimately Congress.
I'm not discounting the importance of any what?
Congress ultimately will have the ability to do this work. I'm not discounting the importance of any executive action, but ultimately Congress.
I'm not discounting. Play that word salad. What does that even mean?
Ultimately, it will have the ability to do this work. I'm not discounting the importance of any executive action, but ultimately Congress.
You're not. Hold on. I gotta put this. I gotta put the closed captions up there because I can't believe it. I can't comprehend what this woman is even saying.
Ultimately, it will have the ability to do this work. I'm not discounting the importance of any executive action.
I'm not discounting the importance of any executive action. What does that even mean? I'm not discounting the importance of any executive action. What does that mean, Kamal? You're not discounting the importance of any does that mean if Congress doesn't step up, you're going to make an executive action? Or are you just not discounting the importance of any executive action? You see how these politicians play in your face. They will tell you that black oppression is the worst thing. The worst thing. They would tell you about slavery. They tell you about Jim Crow. They'll tell you about redlining. They'll tell you about all the disparities. They'll tell you about disparities of black women in childbirth. But when it's time for them to make an executive decision, they will not say, during my term, if Congress can't get it done year 1, year 2, I'm going to make an executive decision. They can't tell you, when I take office, on the very first day, I'm going to make an executive decision when it comes to reparations. But these are the Negroes you are clamoring to vote for right here. How do you get up there on TV? And this is the only excuse that these Negroes give. These Negroes get on their platforms and they say, GMT, if she says she's going to give black people reparations, she's not going to win because nobody's going to vote for her. Why don't y'all ask Donald Trump his position on reparations? I bet you if you asked him, told him why reparations was important and why it's something that should have happened a long time ago, I'm willing to believe he will make an executive decision on reparations. And if he says he's going to make an executive decision on reparations, the people who are MAGA freaks, hardcore Trump supporters, guess what? They're still going to vote for Donald Trump. But Kamala Harris right here, Kamala word salad, I don't know if I'm black, can't answer a direct question. She says, I'm not discounting the importance of any executive action. So are you going to make an executive action?
But ultimately Congress, because if you're going to talk about it in any substantial way, there will be hearings, there will be a level of public education and dialogue that, and I think that was part of the spirit behind the congressional action thus far, to ensure that everyone can participate in this conversation in a way that elevates.
You see, they still want to study, they still want to dialogue, they still want to have a conversation, they want to weigh this and weigh that. These Negroes have been studying, at least in the state of California, for the last 4 years, and it got vetoed. It's time for somebody to make an executive decision, and Kamala Harris seems as though she doesn't want to do it.
It's knowledge about history and the reference points that have that are the impetus of this conversation. Especially, again, when people are trying to deny history, when people are, so-called leaders are saying that enslaved people benefited from slavery. I mean, let's talk about the Delta here in terms of the work that needs to be done. It's profound.
Madam Vice President, I want to move to Springfield, Ohio, and what's happening.
You see, and then this Negro right here, after she dodged the question, gave word salad didn't even ask the question, didn't even answer the question directly. We moved to Springfield, Ohio, instead of asking if you making an executive decision on reparations because Congress can't get it done, what would that executive decision look like? And how would that impact the lives of Black people the day you take office? Who in the hell puts these people in charge of asking questions on the behalf of Black people? Now we're going to talk about Springfield, Ohio.
There, we've seen school closures, parents worried about their kids leaving the home because of racist conspiracy theories that I won't repeat here, but they have been repeated by leaders on the Republican side, President Trump, former President Trump, and Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance. From your perspective, is this just a case of irredeemable racist conspiracy?
Now we asking loaded questions with the answer already in it.
President, I want to move to Springfield, Ohio, and what's happening there. We've seen school closures, parents worried about their kids leaving the home because of racist conspiracy theories that I won't repeat.
People are scared to leave their homes because of racist conspiracy theories.
Here, but they have been repeated by leaders on the Republican side.
And these talking points are being repeated on the Republican side. See, this is the problem with that question. There's people in that city saying they're being violated, they're being attacked and whatnot, and that's why they're not leaving their home, because they're seeing people in their community being torn out the frame, and they're not going outside because they don't want to be torn out the frame. It is not because the Republican leaders are saying it. It's because they get calls from their neighbor, when they talk to their neighbor, when they go outside and they see somebody get torn out the frame, now they scared to go outside. But this is what they do.
President Trump, former President Trump, and Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance. From your perspective, is this just a case of irredeemable racism that can't be mitigated by any rational action, or is this a situation in which a federal response could help this community heal? There's a question of resources and.
Well, no, I'll let you finish and then I'll speak.
No.
It's a crying shame. I mean, my heart breaks for this community. You know, there were children, elementary school children, who it was school photo day. You remember what that's like? Going to school on picture day? Who were dressed up in their best, got all ready, knew what they were going to wear the night before, and had to be evacuated. Children. A whole community put in fear. And I'll say a couple things about it. One, you know, I learned a long time ago in my career, having a background as a prosecutor, when you have these positions, when you have that kind of microphone in front of you, you really ought to understand at a very deep level how much your words have meaning. I learned at a very young stage in my career that the meaning of my words could impact whether somebody was free or in prison. As Attorney General, I was of California, 5th largest economy in the world. I was acutely aware that my words could move markets. When you are bestowed with a microphone that is that big, there is a profound responsibility that comes with that. That is an extension of what should not be lost in this moment, this concept of the public trust. To then understand what the public trust means. It means that you have been invested with trust to be responsible in the way you use your words, much less how you conduct yourself. And especially when you have been and then seek to be again President of the United States of America. And so I go back to, it's a crying shame, literally. What's happening to those families, those children in that community, not to mention what is happening in terms of, look, you say you care about law enforcement resources being put into this because of these serious threats that are being issued against a community that is living a productive, good life before this happened. And spewing lies that are grounded in tropes that are age old. And look, I said it not very far from here the other day at the debate. This is not new. This is not new in terms of these tropes. This is not new in terms of where it's coming from. And, you know, whether it is refusing to rent to people, rent to Black families, whether it is taking out a full-page ad in the New York Times against 5 innocent Black and Latino teenagers, the Central Park 5, calling for their execution, whether it is referring to the first Black president of the United States with a lie, birther lies. And look, the American people deserve, and I do believe want better than this. I do believe that. I know the vast majority of us as Americans know we have so much more in common than what separates us. I know that. I know that regardless of someone's background, their race, their gender, their geographic location, I know that people are deeply troubled by what is happening.
Stop the show. We gotta go ahead and do some research, because now they over here, they talking about Springfield. What's that? Springfield, Illinois? Springfield, Ohio? They talking about racist trouble. Let's see what's going on. We got bomb cases of bomb threats. I think there's somebody. They're talking about migration, invasion. We got bomb threats. Hold on. And false claims about immigrants. So I believe the false claims is that they're saying that Haitian immigrants are eating geese and people's pets. That's what I'm hearing about Springfield, Ohio. People are saying that's not true. That's just not true. Even though there's people in Springfield, the people of that city is claiming it's happening. Let's see if we can play this real quick.
Ohio, a town of just 58,000, now at the center of the migrant crisis, with at least 15,000 Haitians arriving since 2020, now forcing the state to send state troopers in and set aside millions of dollars to deal with the crisis. Our next guest has lived in Springfield for more than 30 years and says it's no longer feels like her home. Diana Daniels joins us now. So Diana, according to the reports, the schools have been overrun, the clinics have been overrun, and now a lot of jobs has been taken as well. What is life like there now?
It's like living in a dystopian nightmare. You hope you wake up and it's 2019 again, and then you realize it's 2024, and it's the same thing over and over again, day after day. It's hard sometimes to get up in the morning and hear residents that I've known for years struggle. This is a paycheck to paycheck kind of town, working class, and the citizens that depend on our social services, like healthcare, a rocking horse, going down to Social Security office for benefits, are waiting in line, and they're not getting the services they need. And it breaks my heart to see people that I taught and their children experiencing this. So I took it upon myself to make sure that I showed up at every city commission meeting pleading our case. And if it took, something like this to get the spotlight flashed on us, then so be it. We've needed help, but for several years, and maybe we're going to finally get it. The sad thing is it's more of my money being spent on a problem that we did not create.
So, Diana, let's talk about that, because you take great umbrage with some of the characterizations that people tried to make about you and people in your town, saying that you're hateful people just because you're bringing attention to the issue.
And some of those comments are being made by people that I've known for many years, and that's probably the hardest thing to deal with. Because the city has always been a close-knit community. We have pockets of neighborhoods, and what's happening is a disruption of the smaller neighborhoods, and it has never been a race issue. It's about color. It's not about color. It's about culture. Your once close-knit community has now been changed, and there are people in your neighborhood that you don't know, that don't speak your language, that live a different lifestyle from you, and it's going to cause some tension, but it is a different culture that we're dealing with. And I've tried to push that issue, but it's not helpful when our own city government has printed those very comments in city documents.
Who do you blame for
the challenges that Springfield faces is race.
I apologize, Diana, but who do you blame for this issue? Because we got a national election coming up, and there is one person that is control of the border, and that's the commander-in-chief, and he sets the policy for that.
Oh, hold on. I gotta go ahead and stop the show, because if I'm holding Kamala Harris account for a word salad, I gotta hold this woman accountable for a word salad. So it appears to be that there's Haitian immigrants who are people of the melanin. They've moved into Springfield, Ohio. And one of the problems she said is that when it comes down to getting aid at the social services, they have to wait behind lines behind Haitian immigrants. And it seems as though these Haitian immigrants, they have a different culture, they speak a different language, and it's making her feel easy. But with all that said, based on what she's telling me, the Haitian immigrants haven't broken any laws. They haven't eaten anybody's cats or dogs. They haven't hit nobody over the head. They're not out here robbing people. It seems like she's just a little upset that these Haitian immigrants are moving in, and I'm still trying to figure out what's the problem.
Through the Homeland Security Secretary, his vice president wants to be the next president. Who do you hold accountable for this surge of migrants that are now in your community?
Well, it certainly is a top down, and it's also a bottom up. So how did Springfield get the target put on its back for this many Haitians? And don't forget, we also had a surge of Hispanics from 2014 on. How did that happen? And that's what a team.
Let's go ahead and go to the one. I'm completely done with her. She could not substantiate an argument against the Haitian immigrants. Let's go to a town hall. Let's see. Do we have a town hall meeting real quick? Let's see what the people are saying at the town hall.
Why they need federal government help. It's a federal program that put them in this position. Now, the people who live there were at a city commission meeting this week, including one woman who lost her mother-in-law because of the situation. Let's watch this together.
On December 1st, I received a phone call that changed my life forever. She was collecting her trash can from her driveway when a car struck and killed her instantly. A Haitian immigrant was allegedly driving recklessly when he struck and killed her. I am paralyzed with anxiety when I'm getting my children out of the car in any parking lot, walking on any sidewalk, and driving on any road in this town.
This issue is not a Republican or Democratic issue. This is an American issue. This is an Ohio issue, and this is a Springfield issue. We, the people, have the ability to ensure our streets are safe.
Schools are overcrowded. Our education system has went in the trash. Housing is another issue. The overcrowding in housing. My son had to give me his house and move to another house because I can't find housing.
Is there a cutoff point that, I mean, for the population here? Or, I mean, I feel like there should be a no vacancy sign right now, and people are still coming in.
I want to make a point really clear here. This isn't exactly the same thing that.
Okay, so I'm listening. So we had one. I guess there was a Haitian. He or she was driving his car in a reckless manner and hit, and unfortunately tore out that person's mother out the frame. But if one Haitian is driving recklessly, that's not an indictment of all Haitians. I will say that, and it appears as though, since this is a small city, there's an influx of Haitian immigrants coming in, and I guess it's a drain on the school system because now classes are a bit bigger and it's harder for the teachers to teach the children because all that stuff. I get all of that, but if this is all there is. Let's go to this right here.
I knew the places they were talking about. I know the neighborhoods that they're talking about. I know what goes on in Snyder Park. I know that there's ducks and geese all year long, and then to hear that people are feeding off of those wild animals, it's preposterous.
Today's Haitians, tomorrow may be Somalian, it may be African, it may be German, it may be, but we need to stop this today because Martin Luther King fought for this, and we cannot sit back and watch it revive again.
They have fear, a lot of fears going on right now. Some of them are talking about leaving Springfield. Some of them are scared for their life. It's a little bit tough for us.
Okay, so it looks like there's not really nothing going on here. Maybe a couple animals got eaten. I have yet to see anything. Maybe I gotta do more research. Let me see. Do we have something? About these immigrants in Springfield, because I have yet to see anything. Okay, we got a body cam.
Replace your windows and doors now during.
We got a body cam of an Ohio woman eating a cat. So we all remember during the debate. There was accusations of somebody eating somebody's pets.
Your hands behind your back. Someone got rubber gloves. She's covered in blood.
So they have this woman here.
You got rubber gloves.
They have this woman here, and everybody says this is the Haitian woman that's ate a cat. The fact checker said that this person was a resident of U.S. and was a resident of this city and was a U.S. citizen, but we know that they could let immigrants come into the country and become a resident. We just want to know if she's Haitian or not. That's all we want to know. And it's hard to prove if somebody's Haitian or not if you don't have their birth certificate, because their birth certificate is going to show where they were born. Were they born in America or were they born in Haiti? If they're born in America, are their parents Haitian? Because if her parents are Haitian, that makes her a Haitian American, and she would still be a Haitian American. That's just information we want to know. Let's see, they got this woman eating the cat.
9-5. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney. If you can't afford one, won't be appointed.
Now, we just gotta be honest. Aries Queen, we just gotta be honest. Does she look FBA or does she look like a Haitian? We just gotta be honest. Does she look ADOS or does she look FBA? Or does her garments that she's wearing, does it say Haitian or does it say FBA? Her hairstyle, does it say Haitian or does it say FBA? We got Kelly Ray says she's not Haitian. How do you know that she's not Haitian?
Appointed to you at state's expense. You have a right to have that attorney present during any questioning. You have a right to stop answering any questions once they begin. Do you understand your rights? Do you understand? Smile for me. Smile. Go like this. Did you eat that cat? Did you eat it? No, why'd you kill it? Get in there. It's ridiculous.
Okay, she appeared to not have a Haitian accent. Let me see if I can play that one more time.
Did you eat it? No, why'd you kill it? Get in there. It's ridiculous.
So people saying she's not Haitian. Okay. You know what? She may look Haitian, but she didn't have the accent. So that does say a lot. But let's go back. Let's go back to this whole
to that community in Springfield, Ohio. And it's got to stop. And we've got to say that you cannot be entrusted with standing behind the seal of the President of the United States of America, engaging in that hateful rhetoric that, as usual, is designed to divide us as a country, is designed to have people point.
Stop the show. This is the problem. This is the problem I have. This is the problem I have with the whole immigration thing. Because this was proven to happen in Springfield. A lot of you Negroes, you are actually for immigrants coming into this country legally. But you're against immigrants coming into this country illegally. Which you Negroes don't realize because you don't use your people of the melanin mind. When these Haitians or when these immigrants, wherever they come from, come in illegally, and the government gives them benefits, puts them in a sanctuary city, puts them in a house, gives them a job, gives them access to resources. Or, as we've seen Kamala do, give them amnesty. Those illegal immigrants become legal immigrants because the government is giving them permission to come in the country. But a lot of you Negroes will say, I'm for legal, and you're for legal immigration. My question to you people who are for legal immigration, as long as you would take as many immigrants as you would, as long as they come in legally. My question to you Negroes is, what if the whole world's population wanted to move into America? Because I got into a debate with somebody about this on Facebook, and I asked them this question. I said, what if the world's population wanted to migrate into America legally because they were in search of a better life? Would you take them in? He responded, it's impossible for the world's population to migrate to America. I said, you're right. But at some point, you have to put a limit on immigration, because if you don't, cities will be overran and become too populated, and it's going to put stress on the infrastructure of cities and states. You won't have enough housing. Schools is going to be overrun. Hospitals get overrun. Not enough jobs to go around. At some point, you have to put a limit on immigration. And one thing that when I watched that Ohio Springfield news clips, one thing that was very clear is they have allowed so many immigrants to come in that it's affecting their lives. Schools are too big. It's hard to find high housing. It's hard to get access to resources because it seems that those resources are going to the immigrants, and now Americans are being left behind, and now the tax money that which these taxpayers are paying that's supposed to be benefiting their community, they are no longer seeing the benefit of that. And that's a source of their anger. And somebody's got to be held accountable for it. And they're holding the politicians who are allowing their cities to be overran by immigrants. And these people say they have nothing personal against Haitian immigrants, assuming that they're law-abiding people. But if you allow too many to come into this small city, it affects our way of life, and here's how it does. And they go through and they explain the best way they can, trying to be respectful. And what the Democrats would like to do, since Haitians have the melanin, they want to say they're racist against black people and overlook the problems that mass immigration can have on such a small city. And I think that's the part they were trying to get. So with that said, I'm not done yet. Let's go back to the full remarks. What time is it? 12 o'clock. See, we got a different question because I'm done with Ohio and Springfield. What we got here?
Have that microphone again.
Madam Vice President, I'm switching gears again.
Okay.
Quick question. I want to talk to you about gun control. So you've said you support an assault weapons ban and universal background checks, and we actually learned during the debate that you are a gun owner. But in cities like Philadelphia, handguns are responsible for most homicides and violent crime. The most recent FBI data shows handguns were involved in 59% of murders in our country. How will you address the issue of the use of handguns? Because a push for an assault weapons ban only addresses a significant but small part of the problem.
So, first of all, yes, I am a gun owner, and Tim Walz is a gun owner, and we're not trying to take anybody's guns away from them. But we do need an assault weapons ban. Assault weapons are designed to kill a lot of human beings quickly, and have no place, have no place, I'm gonna get to it.
Yes.
And have no place on the streets of a civil society. We need universal background checks, which, to your point about handguns, is about saying that it is just reasonable to want reasonable gun safety laws that say we should do background checks, that we ought to know. It's just reasonable. You might want to know before someone can buy a lethal weapon. If they've been found by a court to be a danger to themselves or others, you might just want to know.
And respectfully, we do understand that.
But you're asking about.
I'm asking specifically about handguns.
Yeah,
because
yeah. We got the B-dub. We got the B-dub trying to pin Kamala Harris down. You talking about assault weapons? You talking about we talking about handguns. We got to get these handguns off the street, because in cities like Philadelphia, you got a lot of young people of the melanin out there tearing each other out the frame using handguns. And these people tearing each other out the frame is not even old enough to have a handgun. Meaning they're getting these handguns without background checks. They're getting these handguns illegally. What you gonna do about the gun violence in Philadelphia when it comes to handguns?
many of those handguns aren't
Universal
purchased in
background
places.
checks
Yes.
apply to handguns.
Meaning them handguns ain't being bought at gun stores. These handguns is being bought by criminals who smuggle these handguns in from outside countries. Talk that shit.
Guns.
Yes.
They do.
But in
And
many instances, those handguns aren't even bought lawfully. Yes.
Which is why I also have been very adamant for years. In fact, I myself protested at a gun show probably 10, 15 years ago about the gun show loophole and why we need to close that. Because what ends up happening is that gun shows at flea
Now we want to talk about the gun show. Now little Pookie, Ray. Who else? Who else? Jermaine. Who else? Chad and Brad. Because there's a couple of them white boys out there tearing each other out the frame. Juan and Marco. They be tearing each other out the frame. Are you telling me Kamala Harris, them dudes is getting their guns at the gun show?
markets, gun dealers are not, under existing law in the past, required to register their sales. And so you are exactly right that a lot of homicides, for example, a good number of them, I don't have the statistic in front of my mind, are committed with illegally purchased guns. And that's why we need to address each entry point in the issue, including universal background checks, closing the gun show loophole, and what we need to do as a general matter to focus not only on reaction to crime, but prevention of crime. So you're raising a very important issue that has many facets, including what we need to do in terms of reasonable gun safety laws and what we need to do around crime prevention, what we need to do around crime deterrence. But listen, I have personally prosecuted homicide cases. I have held the hands of mothers who have come to me crying, who have said, I only want to talk to Kamala because they knew when they sat down, I would treat them with the dignity and respect that they were entitled and due about the loss of their child, often their son, to gun violence and the need to take it seriously. And we must take it seriously in every way, understanding it's not just about a soundbite. It's about a comprehensive approach that deals with the tragedy of, to your point, everyday gun violence in America. It's real. It has had a profound impact in terms of trauma that for the most part has gone undiagnosed and untreated. The trauma that exists in communities around the violence of losing their children, losing a brother, losing a father, an uncle. All of that must be addressed, and we have to have a holistic response to it.
Are there things we haven't thought about yet? Because every time we bring up this issue of gun violence, universal background checks comes up and a ban on assault weapons. Are there other solutions that you're also thinking about that will get at this issue?
Absolutely. For example, part of what we did with,
How are we gonna stop black on black crime? Yes. That's a perfect question. Yes, how are we gonna stop black on black crime when it comes to gun violence? Let's get to it.
As vice president with the president, we were able to pass the first meaningful gun safety legislation in 30 years. And part of what that involved was millions and millions of dollars to put more mental health counselors in public schools, right? Because we know that there is an aspect of this that is about treating the trauma and dealing with it at its source before it ends up manifesting itself in a problem. There is the work that we need to do that is about putting resources into communities around violence prevention. I've been a big advocate of that for years, which includes what we need to do around putting resources into community-based intervention that is not just requiring on the good people in the community to volunteer to do the intervention, but actually paying people to do it because it's a full-time job.
Stop the show. Any solution that doesn't address single mother households, any solution that doesn't address degenerated rap music, any solution that doesn't suggest harsh punishments for bad behavior will not stop gun violence as long as you allow and promote and enable single motherism. You will always have gun violence. If you allow these schools to play these rap musics where they literally rap about killing each other, and they play this music at the football game, they play this music when it's the basketball game is about to start and the players are in the layup line and they playing Meek Mill, real nigga, what up? Real nigga, what up? If you ain't about that murder game, then pussy nigga, shut up. As long as you allow these schools to play that kind of music, I don't care about the mental health crisis you put in, because after they leave that mental health counselor and they go play in that basketball game, or they go watch the basketball game, they go listen to Meek Mill before the game, they go to listen to Meek Mill at halftime, and then they go and listen to Meek Mill after the game. And the minute they get into some conflict, they're not going to think about what that mental health counselor said. They're going to think, real nigga, what up? If you ain't about that murder game, then pussy nigga, shut up. And you still trying to figure out why gun violence is never ending. Is because you are literally embedding gun violence into the culture. And until you take gun violence and the admiration to pick up a gun and go smoke an op, you will always have gun violence. But that's not the conversation you want to have, Kamala Harris. You want to word salad us to death.
It's about understanding what we need to do to, again, understand.
You gonna go to the good people and have them do a ceasefire, but you won't go. You won't go to the gang members on the block You won't go to the ones that's got the gun tucked in their pants, that's hanging on the block. They got the gun under the wheel well of a car sitting in front of that liquor store. You won't go over there. You gonna go to the two-parent household talking about we gotta stop gun violence, but you won't go to them at-risk youth. You won't go to the people who leave an impression on the at-risk youth to deal in the underworld lifestyle. You still want to talk to the good people because you know it's easy to talk to the good people, but you won't talk to them fools on the block that's plotting on smoking and I. But go ahead with your word salad.
That, to your point, we have to have a holistic response to this issue and prioritize it instead of reacting to the tragedy that sadly they are too predictable. Let's all agree, enough of that. There are very few solutions that we haven't thought of. We need to put the resources into them.
Madam Vice President, we want to move to the topic of reproductive access, something that you have worked and leading on both for the administration, Democrats, and now the top of the ticket. You've said that as president, you would want to codify Roe. If it came to your desk, you would sign a bill that did that. Roe protected access until fetal viability, which it also says is, quote, at about 7 months, but it may occur earlier, even at 24 weeks. So do you similarly support also codifying Roe's restrictions, which allowed states to ban abortion in the third trimester of pregnancy unless necessary to save the mother's life?
We need to put the protections of Roe v. Wade back into law. And when that bill gets passed by Congress, I will proudly sign it into law. Understand what is happening in our country. Over 20 states have passed what I call Trump abortion bans because I understand how we got here. The former president handpicked 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. They did as he intended, and in state after state, laws have been passed criminalizing healthcare providers. I don't know if anyone here has heard most recently the stories out of Georgia. Tragic story about a young woman who died because it appears the people who should have given her healthcare were afraid they'd be criminalized after the Dobbs decision came down. Laws that make no exception even for rape or incest, which means that you're telling a survivor of a crime of a violation to their body that they have no right to make a decision.
Oh, they love telling these half truths. Oh, okay. I'll give it to you. Trump did put a conservative judges on there so they could take away Roe v. Wade. But at the end of the day, it goes to the states, and the states are going to do what the states is going to do. So if you got a problem with the abortion laws in your state, you need to take it up with your governor. Let's go ahead and fast forward because I really can't do this whole abortion. If you can't have sex responsibly, you shouldn't be having kids. That's my stance.
Didn't see that just a minute ago, though. To know what's in her best interest.
Before we conclude, Madam Vice President, the Joyful Warrior has been used to describe
You
your
didn't see that just a minute ago, though. Okay, I'm back to my joyful part.
And your opponent and Republicans have at times weaponized you laughing in campaign ads, for example. Why is joy important to you to insert into this election? And what do you make of Republicans using that as a way to suggest that you're not a serious candidate?
Well, sometimes I think, and I'll say to whoever the young people are who are watching this, there are sometimes when your adversaries will try and turn your strength into a weakness. Don't you let them. Don't you let them.
That's not true. Whenever you get asked a difficult question, before you give your word salad, before you not answer the question directly, you laugh, you give your word salad, and you don't answer the question directly. And that's why people are calling you out. But that's enough of that video. Before I shut this stream down, oh, don't forget it. It's tear him out the frame. Tuesdays, and this may have been the crime of this century right here. So before I shut this down, we gotta talk about this crime right here. Oh, we gotta talk about this crime right here of you getting torn out the frame. We got the TDA gang, which has finally been labeled terrorist by the state of Texas. But here we are in Denver, Colorado. This is what happened.
It was extremely violent. It was this moment caught on camera when Myrna Munoz says she knew something didn't feel right as one man pretended to be shopping, and then these three men sat in the cage waiting to be let into their shop, Joyeria El Ruby. So the individual that was standing right here pulled a gun, and the three individuals that came in pulled guns. Customers dropping to their knees, held at gunpoint. Some of the staff fleeing to the back. Munoz able to grab her kids and escape. My mom and my cousin closed the door as I grabbed my 18-month-old baby. Her mom.
Stop the show. Stop. No. We got to break this down. We gotta break this robbery down.
It was extremely violent. It was this moment.
Stop the show. You mean to tell me you see all these crimes throughout the country of America, especially in Democratic ran cities. Hold on. We gotta do some Denver mayor. We got the mayor of Denver right here. Let me see if I can pull him up. We got the mayor of Denver, Democratic. We're going to look up the Denver governor. Colorado governor, I'm sorry. Colorado governor, Democratic Party. So we are in a Democratic stronghold, and I don't know why you Negroes in these Democratic strongholds, you got all your merchandise out in the open. I mean, is this how y'all serving? Is this how y'all serving folks on the block right here? You just got all the necklaces out in the open. You got all the women behind the counter. You ain't got no security. The only security you got is you got a cage in which you buzz people in. That's the only security you got. Is this how we serving people?
On camera when Myrna Munoz says she knew something didn't feel right as one man pretended to be shopping, and then
something didn't feel right, but you still buzzing people in.
These three men sat in the cage waiting to be let into their
you buzz them in.
Shop, Joyeria El Ruby. So the individual that was standing right here pulled a gun, and the three individuals that came in pulled guns.
They pulled guns, and right there, it's the niggas that don't play. You buzz them in, and they here to do damage. What you gonna do? You got all your merchandise out in the open, no security, no man, no weapon. What the hell is you about to do?
Customers dropping to their knees, held.
You running? You take off running?
Held at gunpoint.
Look like you got her right there. They told her if she moved, they gonna slap the taste right out of your mouth.
Some of the staff fleeing to the back. Munoz
you running? Y'all running to the back room? You running? Where you gonna run to
grab her kids and escape.
You running? We running?
And my cousin.
Look at, she went and grabbed the daughter. Oh my God! Look at this right here. Look at this right here. Oh my God! Aries Queen. I know you watched the movie Alien versus Predator, where they got the alien or the predator, whatever movie it is. It always gets to the point they're being chased by this 500-pound, 7-foot creature. They run and they push up against the door, and the predator or the alien is trying to open up the door. And every time in these movies, the woman somehow finds a way to lock the door and prevent the predator from coming inside. So here they are in that exact same situation. And let me tell you, you see, in that movie, Alien versus Predator, the predator is supposed to push open the door and kill the woman that's inside. What happens here is, within 2 seconds, look at this right here. Within 2 seconds,
An escape.
My mom. Look at that. It's right there at 30 seconds on the bottom.
And my cousin closed the door.
Within 4 seconds, the women could not keep the door closed. The women could not keep the door closed. Now one of the women's falling down.
As I grabbed,
falling out. It's over. It's over.
My 18-month-old baby.
Her mom, Lydia Pena.
Look at that. She tried to go to the panic button. Couldn't get the panic button.
Hit the panic button before one of the robbers attacked her.
Look at that. It's over. Look at that. It's over. It's over. Now they got their gun. Hold on. Now they got their gun. They got their gun. You fall into your knees showing gratitude. They got their gun. Now they hitting you over. They hitting you over the head. They hit you over the head with the gun. They just wearing you out with the gun.
With the gun 3 times. They also hit my cousin Magdalena in the back of the head. She felt like they were going to kill her after they hit her 3 times with the gun in her head. And she, one of the times, tried to move to push the panic button. And they told her that if she moved at all once more, that they were going to...
Look at that right there. They got you on your hands and knees. They standing directly over the top of you. Well, what the hell are you supposed to do?
Kill her, and they were going to kill her.
They are literally snatching jewelry up off of you.
My cousin.
Within another minute, cameras in the back capturing 4 more men.
Now you got 4 more robbers coming in through the back door.
Entering the back door.
They had white gloves, and they were all loading their guns.
Says one assaulted her sister, who walked into all the chaos.
He grabbed her by her hair, pulled her up the stairs, and told her not to move or he was going to kill her. And while he had her face down to the floor, he yanked all of her personal jewelry off.
The 8 men wiping out the store that's been here for 24 years in a matter of 3 minutes.
Damn, look at all that merchandise they about to get. Damn, how much money you think all that jewelry is worth in that store? How much jewelry you think is in that store right now? God damn, them boys eating right. Them boys eating right now. Damn.
Minutes.
Everything, they just sort of started putting it in backpacks and duffel bags.
Denver police confirming they are looking for these 8 Hispanic men.
It's organized crime, and their accent is from Venezuela.
Walls.
They're from Venezuela. TDA gang in the house, Venezuela.
Now bare and shelves disheveled. This family shaken and scared for the future of their shop.
This is very traumatizing.
You crying? you crying? You don't watch the news? You don't see all these other jewelry stores getting hit in a smash and grab, and you just got all your jewelry out in the open behind glass. You ain't got no security, no weapon, no man to protect you.
Sí, tengo mucho.
And now you over here crying. You over there whimpering.
This is very traumatizing.
It's very traumatizing.
Sí, tengo mucho miedo. Yes, I'm very scared, and mostly for our kids.
So that was that story. Hold on, let me see if I can do one more. I gotta do one more. I got to do this one because them TDA gangs is on y'all ninjas' asses.
All of it caught on camera. Multiple armed suspects break into a home with 2 children inside, posing as delivery drivers. Fox 31 speaking with those victims. Our Talia Cunningham is in studio with their message and more of some of that dramatic new video. All new at 9. Talia.
Yeah, Erica, dramatic is right. Some terrifying moments for a family in Aurora. So the crime was caught on Ring doorbell camera, and it all starts right here with this guy. He's wearing like a worker's reflective vest, and he's holding a package, posing as a delivery driver. Clearly he isn't. That package is empty. He then rings the doorbell and waits for someone to answer. Someone does, and then this.
Damn, this the niggas that don't play. You open the door. Next thing you know, you got TDA gang in your house with guns, and they got Negroes running up on you. God damn.
Rings the doorbell and waits for someone to answer. Someone does, and then this.
It all happened in a matter of seconds. What you just saw was that man pushing the door open and forcing himself inside the home. And then 2 other men with guns rush inside. After only 1 minute, the men then run out, pile into a car, and race down the street. A caretaker and 2 young children were inside the home at the time, and as you can imagine, a traumatic experience for all of them. When authorities arrived, one of the children, a 6-year-old boy, visibly shaken. His mom and dad claim the suspects hit their son and caretaker, pushing him to the ground, and inappropriately touched their 14-year-old daughter. The incident happened on Wednesday.
Y'all hear that? You got TDA gang running up in your house. They push your 6-year-old son to the ground, and then inappropriately, that's right, inappropriately touch your 14-year-old daughter. That means they ran up in your house with guns, your 14-year-old daughter in there. They grabbing ass cheeks, grabbing breasts, touching them in between the legs. I mean, is this the country y'all want to live in? With TDA gang or violating your children, pushing them to the ground, and inappropriately touching your teenage daughter? Is this the America you want to live in?
His mom and dad claim the suspects hit their son and caretaker, pushing him to the ground, and inappropriately touched their 14-year-old daughter. The incident happened on Wednesday, June 12th at 8:45 p.m. in a neighborhood on South Richfield Street. Police say this was a robbery as well, with personal items, mostly jewelry and cash, stolen. Although the parents weren't home at the time, they dialed 911 immediately after being notified by the Ring video, telling us they're scared.
El dinero, las joyas se recuperan.
This mother says it's not about the material things stolen because they can be replaced. It's about the trauma her young children were put through. She adds they spent that night in the hospital getting the kids checked out after allegedly being assaulted.
And tonight, Aurora police are investigating this crime and do believe that this family was targeted because they run a business out of their own home. That husband tells us he's a barber and cuts hair, believing this was a crime of opportunity. So take a look here. It may be hard to tell, but if you recognize any of these 3 men or know anything about this crime, you're asked to call Aurora police immediately.
They out there getting torn out their frame. Hold on. Maybe before I go, this is what I always do when I get home. When I get home, I log into my Grandmaster Troll racing channel. I click on this news right here, and I get all these news right here. Let's see what we got. Colorado trooper shot on freeway on dash cam. That's a long one. What else we got? We got anybody get torn out their frame on tear them out the frame Tuesdays? Anybody get torn out the frame? Let's see. Oh, they got your boy P. Diddy. Uh-oh. Here we go. We got one. We got one video we might have to play. Anybody get torn out the frame? That's what I want to see. Let's see. Okay, I guess we go ahead and play that one. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. We got video show, stabbing, shootings inside a Las Vegas casino. He growled like an animal. Let's see. What do we got here?
News Now investigators obtained shows the moment a security officer fires at a stabbing suspect right on a busy casino floor. That man accused of slashing two video. Our 8 News Now.
They tore that nigga out the frame.
Investigators obtained shows the moment a security officer fires at a stabbing suspect right on a busy casino floor. That man accused of slashing 2 employees before officers tackle him to the ground right inside Red Rock Resort.
8 News Now investigator David Charnes, the first reporter to identify that suspect. So, David, prosecutors say the video really just speaks for itself.
The surveillance videos appear to show 25-year-old Shane Sussman randomly attacking 2 employees before leading chase across the busy casino floor and then getting shot. Video the 8 News Now investigators obtained shows a man police say is 25-year-old Shane Sussman in the Red Rock Resort's hotel lobby. He's descending some stairs and he's armed with a knife. Sussman walks through a hallway nearing an employee-only area. Prosecutors say another angle shows him appearing to lie in wait, stumble around before charging at an employee standing near a door. The employee is stabbed several times, telling the grand jury he ran up out of nowhere.
You running? You running?
He growled like an animal, like he was a bear or something. Sussman then allegedly stabbed a second employee, with that man saying,
"You running too?"
He said no words. He was just yelling like he had the devil inside him. Crime scene photos show the weapon and the aftermath in that hallway. Prosecutors say Sussman then calmly walked back to the casino. That night, the casino was hosting a concert, and at 1 a.m, additional officers remained on duty. A security officer telling the grand jury, "We were lucky by the grace of God and fortunate that we had this many officers on floor due to the concert." Less than 2 minutes after the initial attacks, officers find Sussman sitting outside a restaurant. Video shows him lunging at the group, then he takes off. An officer testifying, "We had to turn and backpedal and run for our lives. He was coming at us." The chase continues through the casino. An officer telling the grand jury, Sussman then spun around with the knife in hand in an attempt to slash him. Another officer then takes out his gun and fires. You can see that flash as we slow down the video. Sussman then falls to the ground as more officers pile onto him and take him into custody. Now, other documents say a security officer who was off duty at the time but was at the casino as just a regular customer says Sussman allegedly offered to sell him drugs in a restroom multiple times that night. He remains in custody on $500,000 bail right now. I'm David Charnes, 8 News Now.
Man, $500,000 bond. Damn. Ain't that something? Let's see what else we got. Uh-oh. We got a jackpot winner getting robbed. You hit the jackpot and got robbed. Let's go.
Heart-stopping video. The moment a couple was ambushed at their home by men who followed them from the Hard Rock Casino. This is hard to forget. Tonight we're learning another case where a customer was robbed after winning $100,000. Fox 13's Genevieve Curtis first reported on this case last
night. They left that man outside and they drag him inside. Damn, it's a cold world out here. It's a cold world out here. Got people running up on you at your front door.
First up here at 10 o'clock, it's a heart-stopping video. The moment a couple was ambushed at their home by men who followed them from the Hard Rock Casino. This is hard to forget. Tonight we're learning another case where a customer was robbed after winning $100,000.
Damn, well, his left him outside to fend for himself. Damn.
13's Genevieve Curtis, first reported on this case last month, has new details on a similar crime. What'd you find out?
Yeah, Mark, now we have learned that in December, 8 months before that Riverview robbery, a Tampa man was robbed at his Hyde Park condo after leaving the Hard Rock Casino. And tonight, detectives with both TPD and HCSO tell me there is no reason to believe, though, that these cases are connected.
And all the camera footage allegedly puts these folks at the scene.
In court today, a judge was not swayed into removing Daryl Holmes' ankle monitor. Holmes is one of 2 men accused of following a victim home from the Hard Rock Casino to his Hyde Park condo and robbing him of his winnings in December.
The beating allegedly took place in the alleged victim's garage after he was allegedly followed home from the casino after allegedly winning $100,000.
According to arrest affidavits from Tampa police, the victim won $100,000 playing blackjack. He cashed out and was given a brown bag with the money inside. Hard Rock Casino security escorted him to an Uber. That Uber dropped him off in front of his garage, and investigators say Holmes and another man entered the victim's home through his garage, beat him, and took the brown bag with the cash inside. Detectives say Hard Rock surveillance video shows 3 men following the victim throughout the casino. HCSO is investigating a similar case from August.
I try to tell you, while you at work, these criminals is working on you. Damn.
This Riverview couple is lucky to be alive after being shot at their doorstep. Investigators say surveillance video from the casino showed them being followed throughout the night as well.
Our lives will never go back to the way.
Shot at their door. So is
they out there shooting you at your front door.
Investigating a similar case from August. This Riverview couple is lucky to be alive after being shot at their doorstep. Investigators say surveillance video from the casino showed them being followed throughout the night as well.
Our lives will
He got dude on the ground begging for his life.
never go back to the way they were before that night, ever. Ever. We can't go back to that moment. We can't go back to who we were before that moment.
HCSO is still trying to.
He got niggas on him with guns. He shot. He on the ground bleed. Ain't nothing he can do. Just give it up. Live to see another day. Cause it's over. Don't move. Don't move. Don't move. Don't move. It's over. It's over. Don't move.
To identify a third suspect in that case, but both agencies tell me they don't have any evidence suggesting the 2 cases are connected. A spokesperson for the Seminole Police Department told me the Hard Rock Casino is cooperating with both investigations and provided surveillance video. I asked if staff and security at the casino was trained to watch for people following customers through the casino, as both cases allegedly show. The spokesperson told me, quote, guest safety is the highest priority of Seminole Hard Rock, and police and security officers are trained in all areas of security and safety. And Allie, Mark, I also asked how many other cases like this Seminole police are aware of stemming from the Hard Rock Casino. A spokesperson did not answer that question directly. And previously, they have told us that guests can always ask for a security escort to their car. Reporting live.
You need more than a security escort to your car. You need a security escort to your bank. That's what you need. You need to go straight from the casino and go straight to the bank. Because if you go home, they're going to catch you. They're going to catch you at the front door. They will definitely catch you at the front door. Let's see what else we got for Tear 'em Out the Frame Tuesdays. What else we got? What else we got for Tear 'em Out the Frame Tuesdays? So it looks like we got somebody's son killed at the mall.
Peter Hyman Jr., or PJ as he was known, gunned down over the weekend at Citrus Park Mall. Tonight, deputies tell us they identified multiple persons of interest. Let's bring in Fox 13's Genevieve Curtis, live outside the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office with more. Hey there, Genevieve. She's ready to start a path to justice here, huh?
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. I mean, this family is just devastated, and they are looking.
Hey, look at that woman right there. God damn, she look fucked up. What the hell? Who did her makeup right there? God damn. What the hell is that right there? Is that one of them God damn. Look at that jawline. Damn. They let anybody become a news anchor. God damn.
Looking for answers after they say PJ was with his friends. They had just finished up at the food court when those shots rang out Saturday night. And tonight, HTSO investigators here are interviewing multiple people they say are persons of interest in this case.
Oh, he liked Legos, even from a little kid up until now. I just brought him a Lego set like 2 weeks ago.
Bianca Cooper's 16-year-old son, Peter Hyman Jr., who they called PJ, loved Legos, art, hanging out with his friends, and had dreams of becoming an engineer.
And I said, which kind of engineer? He's like, Mom, there's so many different types of engineers. He's like, well, that's what I want to do. So we were going to start looking into that to see what type of engineer that he wanted to be.
The middle child and only boy, his mother says PJ was the protector of both his old.
No father in the household. A young son got to be the protector of the family because we got no father in the household. Let's go.
Older and younger sister. She wants answers as to how her sweet son was killed in gunfire outside Citrus Park Mall on Saturday.
So I'm going to keep going as much as I can to make sure we find out who did this to him, because he was a sweet boy. He didn't deserve this. He didn't deserve it at all.
Oh, Miss Cooper, let me go ahead and break down how your son PJ got torn out the frame. You see, he didn't have a father in the household. So since he didn't have a father in the household, there was no man to teach him about the savage nature of other males and how to stay safe, how to keep your head on the swivel, look over your shoulders, how to watch and who are your real friends and who ain't your real friends, how to stay out of dangerous places. See, a man wasn't able to teach him that. So when he went out with the wolves, with the wolves, he did not realize he was still a sheep. And we all know wolves eat the sheep. And your son PJ was nothing but a sheep.
Cooper says it was an ordinary Saturday for PJ and his friends. She says she would often go to the mall with them. On this Saturday, HCSO says just after 7 p.m. there was some kind of disturbance and shots rang out. She learned from PJ's friends they were eating in the food court when they heard those shots and everyone started running. Everyone except PJ.
Someone that was so good was taken away at such a young age.
Friends made this poster for his mom after having a candlelight vigil. Clutching the card with moving messages, Cooper has a message of her own.
Look, this gun violence has got to stop. We're losing too many young kids who have so big futures above them, and we're taking this away from them. It's like their lives are being chosen for them. I just want, if you guys know anything about the person who did this, to please speak out and reach out to the sheriff's office and let it be known. And please just don't let this case get swept under the rug.
She does not want this case to be swept under the rug. Now, HCSO did detain 2 people at the scene on Saturday night, and I am told since then they have cleared those 2 people, but they continue to interview multiple people of interest and are asking anyone.
Imagine getting shot up at the mall. Nobody got answers. And you got no surveillance camera to see what the hell is going on. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Get shot up at the mall, and we can't find nothing on, no cameras, nobody know nothing. Ain't that something? Let's see. Anything else? Anything else? Let's see. No, here we go. So somebody got torn out their
Well, I mean,
frame.
after years of drinking, I just realized that
Somebody got torn out their frame. Let's see what we got here.
Violence in one Vallejo neighborhood has some people ready to move out. The latest incident involved a man arrested, accused of shooting a grandmother right in front of her grandchildren. Neighbors say the suspect shares at least one child with the victim's daughter. KTVU's Joey Horta is live from Vallejo with the latest.
Well, Alley police tell us the suspect turned himself in today. Neighbors say that they heard about 10 shots fired and then pulled their kids out of bed to protect them. Cell phone video from a witness shows Vallejo police holding back a grief-stricken woman at the Avian Glen Apartments late Monday night, just feet away from the spot where family members say Darlene Washington was shot and killed in front of her own grandchildren.
Oh my God. We cried all day. Deeply saddening.
The family tells us the loving grandmother was gunned down by the man who is the father of her daughter's children.
It's awful. There was a newborn. It was awful. It was awful.
Vallejo police identified the suspect as 28-year-old Anthony Quinn.
We got some old black on black crime, it looked like right here. Let's go. We got tattoos on the face, earrings on.
Huff Jr., who witnesses say after the shooting took off.
I looked out my window and I seen a guy running away. I heard somebody say, "Mom got shot. Mom, it's mom, it's mom." And then she just started screaming.
An innocent, loving person. They did not deserve that.
Tiffany Mount was sitting in her car when she heard several shots ring out. She and other neighbors worry about the safety of their own children after other recent shootings nearby and are ready to move.
Because I don't feel safe here with my kids. I don't feel comfortable living here anymore.
Police say the 57-year-old was shot at least once, and first responders did what they could to help her. But she died in the parking lot, devastating the family she leaves behind.
Very much loved her children and was really only trying to protect her baby.
Now, police say Huffman will be charged with murder. This is the 18th homicide in Vallejo so far this year. Allie?
A terrible, devastating act of violence. Joey, any idea of what led up to it or what the shooter's motive was?
Well, at this point, police can't confirm what led up to the shooting, they say, but neighbors do tell us that there is a history of domestic violence between the suspect and the victim's daughter, Allie.
Joey Horta in Vallejo.
I tell you, you dealing with them beat up. They make you lose your mind, and now you done threw away your whole life. You done threw away your whole life over an argument. Let's see what we got right here.
Replace your windows and doors now during Renewal by Anderson's Buy Now, Pay Later event.
When you realize bloating and discomfort don't have to be routine, everything changes. Try Rise.
Family and friends of a young woman found dead in a San Francisco jail say they want answers. 22-year-old Amonte Hadley was found unresponsive in her jail cell earlier this month. Her family still does not know exactly how she died. Our Kelsey Thorud has that story.
If I don't get it, if I don't get it, if she don't get it, if she don't get it, if she don't get it, if she...
Family and supporters of 22-year-old Amonte Hadley gathered outside San Francisco's women's jail demanding justice for the young woman who was found dead inside her cell earlier this month.
Amonte matters. She deserved her day in court. She deserved advocacy. She deserved a voice. She deserved to live.
According to the sheriff's office, Hadley was found unresponsive on September 3rd and pronounced dead that same day. How exactly Hadley died remains unknown. The sheriff's office says it is conducting an investigation, but Hadley's family says they want their own independent investigation done.
And we demand justice to the unanswered questions that we are yet seeking.
Before her death, Hadley had been behind bars for close to 2 years. She was arrested back in September of 2022 in connection to a string of armed robberies. She was charged with 13 counts of armed robbery and ordered to remain behind bars until her trial. Hadley's lawyers tried several times to get her diverted in.
So she out there with guns, out there robbing folk. Been in jail for 2 years, waiting to stand trial, facing 13 counts of armed robbery. And in other words, she's about to go away. What do you think she did? I'm willing to bet that she took her own life.
Into a mental health program, but were denied. Her supporters say those denials contributed to the environment that led to Hadley's death and blame District Attorney Brooke Jenkins personally for keeping Hadley behind bars.
I sat in that court hearing and I watched as the district attorney argued against mental health diversion for Amonte.
Yeah, we talking about 13 counts of armed robbery, and you want her out on bail?
It was a shame. It was terrible.
In a statement, DA Jenkins responded to Hadley's supporters, saying in part, quote, Hadley was detained pre-trial because of the public safety risk she posed. The court denied defense counsel's numerous requests for mental health diversion because it was not warranted in this case. Had defense counsel actually worked in their...
Yeah, if you out there robbing people with guns 13 times, I mean, at some point, you're not going to get bail. Your bail's going to be revoked. They're going to hold you down and all that mental health. And I'm suffering from mental illness. That is no longer an excuse. District Attorney Brooke Jenkins, Mayor London Breed, they are under fire. It is an election year. You got 13 counts of armed robbery. You got to sit down. She had to sit down.
Client's best interest and prepared to settle or go to trial sooner, this tragedy may have been avoided. Sadly, we will never know. The DA went on to offer her condolences to Hadley's family, but Hadley's family says they are not stopping here. They want accountability for Hadley's death and say they will continue to fight until justice is served.
Because this capsule we're in is temporary, but these hearts we carry are forevermore. And if you don't know nothing else, know that she is loved and we will not stop.
According to state records, 18 people have died in San Francisco jails between 2014 and 2023, including by suicide, natural causes, or overdose.
Attention, like I said, suicide, natural causes, overdose, suicide. But yeah, that's what's going on. Let's see. Don't want to do any more. I want to shut this one down. It's 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock. Any more? Any more stories? Any more? What do we got? What do we got? Any more? No, there's no more. Oh, I definitely gotta talk about the P. Diddy situation tomorrow. I definitely gotta talk about the. Let's see. Oh, Washington. Oh, let's go. This is a quick one right here.
Now to developing news here locally. A homicide investigation is underway after officers found a man stabbed to death inside an Irvine home.
KTLA 5's Orange County Bureau Chief Chip Yost joining us live now in that neighborhood with the very latest. Chip?
Yeah, hey there, Glenn and Lou. It appears the home involved is the one right behind me. Let's take a look at some video we shot just a little bit earlier where you see some detectives and crime scene investigators going into that home with protective footies over their shoes. This home is on Fortuna, a cul-de-sac in a residential neighborhood near Irvine Boulevard and Yale Avenue. We're told that around 6:20 this morning, Irvine police were called here about some sort of dispute. When they got here, they found a man who had been stabbed to death. They've been here ever since. They have part of the neighborhood roped off. As far as what happened, though, who they're looking for, what may have led to this dispute, police not saying a whole lot about that, just confirming they do have a homicide investigation ongoing with a man who was found stabbed to death in this home here in Irvine. If we get any new information on this, we'll let you know. But we can tell you police are still on scene going through the crime scene. For now, reporting live here in Irvine. I'm Chip Yost.
Nobody know nothing. Just somebody got stabbed at their house. Nobody know nothing. Ooh. Let's see. I think I got time for one more. Let's see if this is a good one. Is there a good one? Oh, I definitely got to talk about the Trump assassination. Let's see. I think this is the last good one right here.
A teen house party in Sumner erupts in gunfire overnight, killing one man while two others are recovering from gunshot wounds. Good evening and thanks for joining Fox 13 News at 10. I'm Frankie Thompson. Investigators say it happened after the Sumner Bonnie Lake football game. Two teens were shot and two were arrested after police say they rammed a police vehicle trying to leave the scene. Fox 13's Dave Detling is in Sumner with a closer look at the investigation and why detectives are having a difficult time finding the shooter.
Well, investigators say there were at least 20 or more kids at this property at that underage party. There were even cameras. Unfortunately, the teen host who threw the party decided to dismantle them, all because she didn't want her parents to find out. Camera footage that could be key to a
the destroyed the guy. I need the camera. I want to see how these kids got torn out the front. Even though I already know. Got that Meek Mill playing. Real nigga, what up? Real nigga, what up? If you ain't about that murder game, pussy nigga, shut up. Somebody said something, somebody had a gun, and they got to shooting. I already know.
Triple shooting turned homicide at an underage party in Sumner, non-existent.
The house had multiple cameras outside and one inside of that barn. But the teenager throwing the party decided that she did not want her parents to see what she was doing. So she decided to unplug.
I know them kids in the barn busting it wide open, doing all kind of things they shouldn't be doing. I know.
Plug and cover those cameras.
In this barn, someone fired a gun, hitting three people, two 16-year-olds and a 30-year-old man. That man would later die at the hospital.
For those cameras.
In this barn, someone fired a gun, hitting three people, two 16-year-olds and a 30-year-old man.
We got a 30-year-old man partying with high school students. I don't know. Sounds suspicious.
Man would later die at the hospital. Investigators say the shooting happened after a fight broke out and a 16-year-old was removed from the property.
He left, returned with other people, and it was said that they had pounded on the garage door to the barn where the party was being held, and they threw up the garage door, and then witnesses reported that shots started being fired at that point.
Hands up! Get up! When police arrived, they found two teens in a black Honda trying to leave the scene. The teen driver allegedly hitting a police cruiser in the process. Inside the Honda, a gun was found, prompting police to place the two 16-year-olds under arrest. Further up the driveway, they found two shooting victims.
They found a 30-year-old man on scene with multiple gunshot wounds. They immediately started treating him, applying chest seals. They found another victim on scene with a less serious injury. It was a 16-year-old male.
The third victim, we're told, had already been taken to a nearby hospital. What investigators now need is to know who opened fire. With security cameras dismantled, they need someone who was inside the barn to come forward.
They thought it was a smart move to, conceal the party they were throwing. And in the long run, it's
now nobody ain't snitching. Everybody want to hold the code to the streets and not tell who fired the gun. I mean, these Negroes is crazy.
a terrible mistake because now we don't have a video of this incident where someone was killed and two other people were seriously injured.
And investigators say the parents of that teen who hosted this party were actually out of state when this party was being thrown. There was underage drinking as well as the presence of at least one gun. Anyone with information is asked to call the Pierce County Sheriff's Department. You can also submit an anonymous tip by calling Crime Stoppers. That number, 1-800-222-TIPS. In Sumner, Dave Detling, Fox 13 News.
Ain't that something? So with that said, I think I'm about done. It's past 1 o'clock. I definitely gotta go to sleep and get some rest. Let's see. I guess we go ahead and do that tomorrow. Somebody got robbed. Yeah, we go ahead and review some of these tomorrow. But with that said, y'all know who it is. It's your boy GMT. Don't die on that Democratic plantation. Head on the swivel. Take care of yourself. Get your finances in order. Peace.